It's Friday, May 1st, 2026. All right, let's start off by reminding people that if they then you can go to supportourshow.com and you'll find why restart it. Why? What's the point? It's not going to get any better. Anyway, somebody, I don't know if I have permission to say the name. I wasn't even going to
remotely tell you to restart it. I was just enjoying your opening.
That's I almost think that's what she said, but it's too lazy for even that.
No. Every opening to this show is basically like somebody took the two of us and like a giant balled us up and just chucked us into a room like a bowling ball. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
And sometimes you stick the landing, and sometimes you just roll right across the room. This is one of those roll right across the room openings.
Yeah, don't I have the no whammies thing? I really should do that for when
no
I
whammies.
Screw up. I don't have the whammies sound. Wait a minute, is this the whammies? Yeah, I think that's the no whammy sound. I think that is the whammy sound. I have to get a clip of somebody saying no whammies, then do the opening, and then play the thing depending on what I do. That would actually be better. So I'll have to find the sound. I know there's clips of people going no whammies, stop, and then I can do my opening. And depending on how I do it, I can either play the wrong buzzer or whatever the biggest money sound is for Press Your Luck, which I don't remember, but I'm sure there is one. Well, in any event, I'd like to acknowledge anonymously, because I don't know whether this person wants me to say their name or not, so I won't. But it's a person who's been a listener for a while, because I recognize the name, donated a significant sum of money. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Really necessarily trying to get people. I mean, it's nice, but nobody has to do that.
No. Listen, we had a specific issue that was coming up, which was storage. And we basically said, and it's true, if people like the long shows and they want them to keep going like that, and they want to help us with the storage costs, it's not like we're looking for profits here. And I'm very grateful that somebody helped.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I'm just saying, So. I meant it when I said save your money, everybody, because I don't know when the hell anything, at least in this country, is ever going to get any cheaper, and I don't know about anywhere else. So that's why I'm saying I really do feel bad ever bringing this stuff up, because let me see what is
sent you a link. I'm going to get you off this. I'm going to clear your mind.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I could use something. I'm in such a miserable mood today.
Okay, so
yeah. I hit such a creative block. I can't get nothing to work. I can't paint shit. I can't draw shit. I'm like, I almost dumped all my oil paint in the garbage, like squeezed everything out and fucking set it on fire. I'm so pissed off, but wow, look at that.
So
it's RC, right?
Okay, so this is on the Hasbro Pulse site. There's a new Takara Tomy Secret Agent RC.
I like the car. Really.
Here's the thing, right? I looked at this and I was like, man, RC is sexy. Like the dimensions,
the robot. Yeah, sure, okay.
Like the dimensions on her. I mean, they gave her kind of like a. I mean, other than the fact that she has square breasts, like she almost looks like she's in a bathing suit. Like, I don't know. I mean,
You know what? Actually, it does look like she's in some kind of like bikini thong. Yeah,
That's what I
weird.
mean. Yeah.
Is that what she actually? Hold on. Is that what she looked like in the movie?
No, I think she was blue. She was blue in the movies. I'm pretty sure.
No, but I mean, where the delineation's the same, like where the robot. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's the same.
That's
different
the same?
color,
Okay.
but she's got the bikini bottom in the cartoon.
She's
is what I was
always
going
had the
for. So
bikini
they didn't.
bottom,
They
yeah.
didn't.
And then
they didn't sex it up.
Has she always had the square pubic area? I never noticed that before.
Oh yeah, she does. I'm looking at it, and this is a clip
But you know
from.
what? Listen.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the fleshy pink color of her in this version. But I'm kind of like, yeah, man. I was like, why is RC kind of cute? And then I was thinking,
is interesting because the cartoon version is basically the. Well, hold on. The pink is almost the same, but instead of yellow, it's white. So I wonder why they went with yellow. That's interesting. They made that change.
Some
She's
alternate
white
version.
and pink in the what do you call it?
Yeah. So I mean, this is a very nice, I think, version of the character.
She's missing something though.
What's that? Nipples?
In the cartoon, she's wearing bitchin' 80s sunglasses, like the wraparound.
Oh, those pop
shades.
down. No, those pop down.
Oh, are they there? Oh,
yeah, hold
are
on.
they?
No, I don't know if they're on her,
see.
but I know that in the movies they pop down. Let's see. Do they have that? Is it an accessory?
Oh, if not, that's a huge miss. Oh, they do. They're there.
They do. Yeah, there
yes,
you go.
They're there. Hey, look at that. All right. That's good.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you, it's a really good version of the character.
This is 7 inches for 150. That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, she's very poseable. I mean, the car looks good, but she's got that, like, I mean, they put her in that one pose where she's like, almost like giving you like a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
okay,
I know.
Actually, yeah, I'm actually, the price makes me feel, I got really I went down a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rabbit hole the other day. And I'd forgotten something about the original comics, the black and white comics, which I remember reading when they were coming out. I remember those really, really clearly.
I just read those the other day.
Okay, so I never really thought about it. I knew that April O'Neil changed massively between the comic and the show.
Oh, yeah.
But I never really thought about it. But this time, I was watching this thing, and they were talking about how the artist was dating either a woman of mixed race or a black woman, and based the original April O'Neil on his girlfriend.
Her hair is very different. Yeah.
Oh, no, they actually, her coloring, even in the black and white, they shade her with like duotone. She does have darker skin. Oh, yeah, you can see it very clearly.
And I wonder if it's because, like, I read the comic. It was very weird. When I was a kid, I mean, let's get into kids' cartoons and toys here because we might as well.
Sure.
When I was a kid, I discovered the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before they ever made it to the cartoons, right? So I was reading the comics, and I loved the comics.
The first things I ever really drew were the Turtles.
And then when I found out that they were doing a cartoon of them, it was one of those things that, like, as a kid in, like, that era, it blew my mind. Because it was like, I knew about this. Not a lot of people I knew about this. And then suddenly it was a cartoon. And then, like, you know, it just, you were just like, whoa, you know? And then there were toys and the fucking movie and, like, it was just crazy. But the cartoon was such a, like, comedic distillation of the comics. The comics can be brutal.
But the comics were brutal.
Yeah.
The Shredder died in the first story. I mean, he didn't make it anywhere. I mean, they a different Shredder then showed up, but he was dead. And this is the thing that people...
And they left
only
Earth.
watched the comic.
They went to other dimensions. I mean, there was all kinds of...
Well, that's the other thing. The Krang aliens are not evil. They are... Krang is evil. He's one of those aliens, but those... I can't remember what the name of the aliens are. But those aliens... in fact, the figure I bought, the Nika figure of the original April, they made it, of the comic version.
Or did they?
And I was so irritated. Yes, they did. And I bought it. And it comes with a little Krang with a fedora. It's fucking rad as shit. Hilarious. And a pipe. It is amazing. Like
That's so funny.
What do you call it? What's the detective? Cocaine. Opium. Sherlock Holmes. It's a Sherlock Holmes pipe. I'm one of those little Krang guys with a hat with a fedora.
You said like cocaine, opium, and my brain was like, Naked Lunch?
Oh, well, yeah, but he wasn't a historical figure who smoked a pipe. That's where I was going. Well,
Sherlock Holmes wasn't a historical figure here. He's still made up.
Well, so's the guy from Naked Lunch, depending on how you look at it. But yes. Sorry, what I meant was a historical figure, not fictional.
A historical character, got it.
Yeah. An older character. The original cocaine
Classic character
that everybody
if you will.
knows. Yes, exactly. So, but like I said, I never really thought about. I mean, because and this is going to sound weird, or maybe it won't.
Yeah.
But one of the things about the cartoon, your point about the cartoon, is directly factored into this. The cartoon, the original comic version of the Turtles, to me, are New York characters.
They are.
The cartoon versions are LA characters. I don't give a fuck that they're supposed to be in New York.
Yeah,
they're not.
no, you're
they're
right.
LA
You're right.
characters.
Yeah, because there's like the Cowabunganists. They're like California
Yes,
surfers.
they valley surf them.
Yeah.
Where, again, in the original comic, they're not like that at all.
They're not cutesy. Like they do
No.
like pizza, but not like that. Like it's not.
I mean, Jesus Christ. What is it? Is it Raphael who almost gets killed when he's wandering around? Or is it Leonardo? I don't remember which one got fucked up.
I think it's
At
Raphael.
Christmas, where
no, it's
I thought that's what.
You know what? I think it's Leonardo because they changed
Yeah, because
it to,
Raphael's like PTSDing out when he's beating up the
they
bag.
change
That's
it.
right.
They change it to Raphael in the movie,
That's why I mixed it up.
but it's
Yes.
Leonardo in the books. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Leo, you're right. No, you're right. Because they jump him and they cut him to shit and he's almost dead when they throw him through the window, which is that's the part I remember them throwing him through the window and he's like bleeding to death. It's a great panel. Like the original comics are fucking hardcore. They're great. If you've never read the original comics,
I mean, and
they're so much better.
And what I love about them is that it's one of those. I think this is the reason that I kind of still lean to this in my creativity today. Is I love the parallel of the absurd and the serious, and taking something that's absurd and carrying it along through the serious. So with the comics, you had this absurd concept of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but then you basically threw them into like a full-blown sci-fi kung fu movie of a comic that was like straight, like it was serious, you know, and they turned it into a Saturday morning cartoon, which is its own existence, which is a lot of fun as well. Yeah. But the comics were just brutal, and like I liked that it was this absurd thing, but they totally handled it seriously.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, when you see art done of the original Turtles before the cartoon, if you can find it, like do it by year. Any art you see before the cartoons is like aggressive and serious.
Yeah.
And then anything afterwards gets goofy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, that was the thing that I never really thought about, but I've always felt like the cartoon versions were California Turtles.
Yeah.
And the comics versions were New York Turtles. And some of that is the brutality versus the Cowabunga dude shit, which is very California. I mean, it's so Valley Girl, it's sort of insane that they still tried to keep it in New York. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Because they're surfer
buildings. That's the buildings and the stores and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what they try. But
what it is that New York feels like a city, or like kind of the greater New York, the boroughs, feels like a place that you can still hide, where you can skulk, where you can get around.
Oh,
like
sure.
LA is
Yeah,
very
I can see
like
that.
spread out.
Yeah.
You know, like New York is the ideal city for something like that to occur. A New York, a London, a Paris, right? Like you need certain cities. You need an urban environment that supports that kind of, you know, hiding, you know, which is will tie in.
But yeah, no, there's a Nika figure if you look it up, and it comes with a little Krang, and it's a great figure because they've made it look like it's from the original comics. They've given it comic book markings, so it looks like it's the original drawing. And then there's a little Krang with a fedora, which is unbelievable.
I mean, I don't. How do you spell Nika? Is it
N-E-C-A? N-E-C-A.
Oh, N-E. That's what it is.
Yeah, like Northeastern California abbreviated. If you want to do it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
See that? I mean, I don't know how good that hat is in reality, but it's a funny little hat on him with the pipe.
Yeah, and they did. And you said they did an April O'Neil as well, the original.
Well, that's what it comes with. Yeah. So if you look up Nika, yeah, so you'll see her and the little.
Oh yeah, you know what? And you're right. And like when you look at it, yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, the hair was so different.
The whole look is much different.
Never occurred to me. Yeah, because then you see with the newer one, they turn into
the new one is. Yeah, and look.
Yeah, that's so funny.
To a degree, to be fair about it, if I say the name April O'Neil and you show me two pictures, I probably would say, well, I think the white redheaded one is April O'Neil. That looks more like the name. I don't disagree.
You know what? I disagree with you because the name O'Neil in the 90s and the 80s in New York and the greater New York area, you know what you have to do? You got to think about like the O'Sheas, like the like Dart, like I'm trying to think of like a name from that, but like an O'Shea, man, like, well, God, because I knew a black kid growing up whose name was like
all I'm saying is
Darren
in general,
O'Shea or something like that, you know.
If you subtract everything else and you give me that name and you give me those two pictures, I'm going to pick the redhead because for me, Irish equals redhead. Period.
God, that's
I don't care where it's from.
Did you see the baby turtles in the
Oh yeah, I did. Yes.
The Grammy April with baby Yi and Moja.
Yeah.
My God, that shit's adorable.
It is.
I can't read the last Ronin comics because I'm sad at the idea that like basically the turtles are all like dead.
Oh, I'm gonna read that one. I found a good a digital version of all the original turtle stuff before the basically the runs before the that's okay because it's an alternate thing. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they're not dead. There's so many versions of the turtles you could just write it off.
I know there's so many versions of a lot of this stuff at this point.
Yeah, but basically what I'm the main point. I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me that they change the race and everything. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because, and they've basically said that's why they did it, is because the producers thought that it would be more appealing to mainstream audiences.
Well, they California'd it. That's what they did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But,
and that
like
makes
I said,
sense. Honestly, I never thought about it till you said it, but that's exactly what it is. They California'd it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, the thing that actually, to me, is the real divider is where it's set. And the idea that cartoon is set in New York is ridiculous.
No, honestly, I mean, she looks Hispanic. She looks like mixed race.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is because when they were doing the interview, they said they couldn't remember whether the girlfriend was black or mixed race or Hispanic or whatever. But essentially, not white. And man, oh man, of course, you will find long articles by pathetic people arguing why, no, she was always white. God, who cares? It's a comic book. I don't give a fuck about the race. Like I said, the more ridiculous part is that you have a group of New Yorkers born and raised who are talking like they're going to hang 10 in Santa Cruz.
Cowabunga, man.
Fuck you.
Let's hang 10, dude.
Wrong. Yeah, no. Like, get fucked with that. It ain't happening. No.
Oh, God, I'm so
sorry.
sick, so laughing hard is bad.
Yeah.
God.
Well, so like I said, my hang-up is not what most people's hang-up is. I'm like, no, I don't care about the race.
No, it's not.
But don't be telling me these are fucking
No,
New
they should have been
Yorkers.
like,
wrong.
Honestly, the closest thing to correct is Raphael in the movies, where he's like, hey, Leonardo! He's like, what the fuck?
Hey! At least they're trying. They're trying.
He's the closest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, I mean, what's the other guy? The guy that plays Casey Jones. That guy was dead on for Casey Jones.
That was the guy from
Cotis or something like
Prophecy,
that?
right? Yeah, the Prophecy guy.
Yeah, that guy was so...
Perfect
Yeah, he
casting.
really was.
No, they nailed that one. That was probably the most one-to-one casting you could possibly do. Because man, oh man, he was perfect.
The first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies did a fantastic job, I think, of trying to bridge the comic and the cartoon.
Oh, the original TMT, the first one is solid as hell. It's great.
Yeah.
And the animatronics are excellent.
Yeah, they still look good.
Those suits are amazing. They're really good. Yeah, I don't care that sometimes you can see... Fuck you, I don't care about the seams. The fact that those are
I don't care at all. I think that's probably one of the best versions of it.
I completely agree. Without a doubt, that is the best non-comic adaptation, period. Even though I like the new cartoon a lot, and I do. That movie felt like the closest translation.
The newest movie, the Mutant Mayhem movie, is like
I like that movie.
I like it a lot, but it is it feels like the child of the cartoon more than the comic. To me.
Well, they're trying to mix a little bit of everything, which I'm okay with. Because,
I
I
still enjoy the hell out of it, and I love the fact that they were actually kids, like doing the voices.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I do believe at some point, and they should, that somebody should do a black and white animated adaptation of...
Oh, like Renaissance?
Yeah, no, I would actually... Well, yes. In other words, harsh tones, but it doesn't have to be stark black and white. But I would make it look like... Because the Mutant Mayhem does that kind of sort of... Looks kind of like a moving comic book, but just strip all the color out. Just monochrome it. But grayscale. You want grayscale, because that would be neat shading to move around. Kind of the Spider-Verse type thing. They should do that of the original comics. For
how much early Laird and Eastman looks like Frank Miller?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would just assume that probably they were basing their art style a bit off of him. I mean, it feels a lot like it even in storytelling.
Yeah, but who comes first?
Oh, Frank Miller preceded the Turtles.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the first TMNT, I want to say, is 84. Hold on, let's see. And let's see, what was the first comic? The first comic was 1984, whereas The Dark Knight Returns... that's not even really... Frank Miller was known before that, so I should go back. What was his first big thing? Let's see. 86 was Dark Knight Returns, but he'd already been doing the X-Men and Wolverine before that, so he was known.
Oh, he'd been around. Yeah, so...
Yeah, like he did... he was doing Daredevil in 81 and 82, so probably that feels like a close analog. Yeah. Because that's New York set as well.
When did he start doing black and white is the question.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, probably... Jeez. I actually don't know what the earliest black and white Frank Miller is. I really don't. I don't know.
Okay, so Frank Miller only started doing his stark black and white comic style in 91.
Well, but that's...
He worked on a lot of other stuff.
But that doesn't mean
in the
anything
80s.
because...
No, I'm saying he worked on a lot of 80s stuff, they said, but he didn't really, strain that down.
Well, and I would not be... And that doesn't surprise me because I don't see the Turtles as that version of black and white. I see it more as the early kind of... I don't want to say shitty colored, but the color... comic book coloring.
Yeah, I know.
In the earlier days was not great. It was often offset from the page. It wasn't, the bright digital shit we have now where it's, But okay, here's a picture from one of the Daredevil comics that has but if you look at the old Daredevil comics, they are muted and the style is what's similar, not the coloring. Okay. But the kind of don't get me wrong. There's probably
I just saw a similarity between them. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, there's probably
the terrible thing is I used to love old Frank Miller. His black and white period is just stunning.
I still do love old Frank Miller. I just don't like him.
No, let me rephrase that. I still love it, but I don't love. It's a shame that he doesn't do that anymore. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
his old stuff. I mean, the way he did his silhouettes and what mattered, and the storytelling with just, it's so good. I'm looking at just some panels of his from that time period, and I
feel like he went the George Lucas route. I think he became such a name that nobody would say, "This looks like shit, Frank. What are you doing?" And they were like, "Thank you so much, Mr. Dark Knight Returns. We'll take anything you give us."
Well, even your feces becomes holy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that he's gone off the deep end. Personally, maybe it's a little different, but for a while there, I remember when The Dark Knight Strikes Back came out, and there were people saying it was better than the original art-wise, and I'm sitting here going, you need to go to the fucking optometrist.
What?
Immediately. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Dark Knight Strikes Again?
The one where the second... there were people at the time,
there's that one panel of The Flash...
I was just going to say The Flash, right?
Looks so bad. Yeah.
It's where he's got the giant Joe Quesada feet or whatever.
Yeah,
Not Joe Quesada, the other artist.
Frank, I don't know, John Romita Jr.?
No, there's another artist who makes these big feet, but that's his style. I think it's like Ramos or something his name is, whatever. But that's his style. That's okay. Jesus Christ, the Max had giant feet, so it's not like I'm saying giant feet are bad. You can do it.
But the Max had giant feet to the point of which they were like absurd, And
well, and
it was
that's what I'm saying.
it was yeah, it was
It was a
what's his
style.
name's?
It wasn't
Yeah.
just bad art. That's what I'm saying the difference is.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. So that's what I'm saying here is Frank Miller. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he... It is very difficult for me to say without knowing, but there are some people who think that their style becomes better by making it more extreme. And maybe he felt that the roughness of his art was the point and decided to go hardcore into that. I wouldn't say that was necessarily the best skid to steer into, but
I mean,
I can't tell.
I felt that it was how messy and yet how clean it was all at once. So
It's strange.
I'm sending you
It's strange how it works.
I'm sending
It's
you a
very
panel
weird.
that I found that's of Marv walking in the snow, and it's just
Yeah.
it's,
That's a famous. Oh yes.
yeah, and it's Marv, and like you can't see his eyes. All you can see is the shadow across his face, and like
Yeah.
it's almost like there's a light above, pointed down, and you're only seeing
Look.
his parts of the coat and the snow, and it's a messy image, and yet it's so clean, you know.
At a point in time, and this was a brief point, but it existed. At a point in time, which this artwork would be from, Frank Miller and Mike Mignola were basically working off the same wavelength somehow, in terms of their ability to handle light and dark. Where if they did a comic together at that period of that intersection,
Yeah.
it would have blown the doors off any house that it entered into. It would have been that good.
Yeah, and that's
Like you
why
can imagine
yeah.
Hellboy and Marv in a comic book crossover, and you're like, holy shit,
Oh,
if they
man.
traded doing issues back and forth,
Jesus.
it
yeah.
would have been stellar.
And that's why whenever Frank Miller brought a color in, I mean, that's what was so brilliant about the Sin City series is whenever he brought
Well,
a
specifically
color
that
in,
one colorist, the one who he worked with a lot for like Dark
Well, no,
Knight,
but he
the
would
same
always
one.
he would bring one color in, just one color, like a
Oh,
red.
I see what you
or-
mean. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that yellow bastard. He brings just the yellow in, and he uses it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just becomes so overwhelmingly powerful because everything else is such a stark, clean black and white. So yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that's my
man.
point about for a short period of time, and I mean this sincerely.
Yeah.
Mike Mignola and Frank Miller were on equal quality planes in the way, and I can't even think of other people at that time. Mike Mignola has continued. Frank Miller has done what he's doing, but there was no one close to the two of them that I would have said, if I want to see a black and white piece of artwork from a comic book creator, it's one of those two. And that held for, I don't know, 5 years maybe?
And I would- and the
whatever
thing is-
that window was.
I would advise anybody to read the Sin City series by Frank Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, read them; they're fantastic. It's a crime story. You know, it's like
Oh, his Daredevil run with Elektra, that stuff's all good. It's all good.
I know, but the
he did some of the defining Daredevil
But when
stuff.
I know, but when I advise people to read things, right? There are people who don't like comic book shit. So if they're going to
Okay.
read stuff, they don't want except so being like, oh, he did a really great Daredevil run. People just like blank out on me. Whereas I'm like,
yeah,
he
I
did
see
some
what you
really good crime fiction. They're more interested in that.
Yeah,
You
I see
know?
that.
Speaking of which, actually, just a quick seg. I showed my son Demolition Man.
Oh, what a movie.
So here's the thing. Very
film.
interesting reactions. So my son actually said to me, I said, we're going to watch Demolition Man, and he goes, this is not a superhero movie, is it? And I'm like, no, not at all. I was like, this is
Well,
before that.
I mean, it kind of is, but
Well,
not
it
what
is.
he's
It
talking
isn't. Yeah,
about.
but I had to explain to him that this was like a kind of like a comedy satire action movie. You know.
Yeah.
And what's amusing to me about that movie is that I still think that movie is very funny. But I realize in watching it with him, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work for younger people unless they've encountered all the stuff that came before it. Because you remember the joke about the Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, they won't know what that means.
Yeah, I realize there's a lot of humor that misses the beat only because if you didn't know this era of movies, it doesn't quite make sense.
That guy became president?
Yeah,
What's the joke? Oh, never
exactly.
mind. Yeah.
And
sure,
so
I see that.
And it is such a fun, silly movie to me, and my son did enjoy it. But like, it was very funny because we watched it with my wife, and my wife's like, "This is such a dumb movie," and I'm like, "That's the point.
It
like
is.
the point
Yes.
is that it's such a dumb movie. Simon Phoenix is a cartoon character. Like he's just this like ghoulish, I'm having so much fun murdering people character. Like it's not a real person in any way, shape, or form.
No, and that's what I've told people who've asked me about that movie. I said, okay. I said, the reason you're going to enjoy the movie is not for the movie. You're going to enjoy the movie because Wesley Snipes is having the most fun you'll see him having in a movie that I can think of. Outside, I mean, there are other movies where he's having a good time, but I'm like, this movie, he is the main character.
Oh, listen,
and everybody knows it.
He loved being Blade, but in this movie, he's having a lot of fun.
Well, okay, and that's what I'm getting at. Is Blade, he's playing a very kind of put-upon character. He's not playing a fun guy.
Oh
Simon Phoenix is the most fun criminal around. What?
He is. I just found a cover that Frank Miller did.
Oh,
That's got to be some of the worst art I think I've ever seen him do.
Oh, God. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. That you can't possibly look at this. What Lando is looking at is book 4 of Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. And you just cannot look at this artwork and tell me that this is intentionally a good style. It looks like somebody making fun of Frank Miller from the era we know him from.
But you know what?
That's what it looks like.
I'll give you this though. Jesus Christ! Hold on. I want to show you this. He did a cover. He did one of the variants on the Darth Maul books.
Yeah,
that's probably some of the best art I've seen him do. What year was that?
Yeah, you know why?
Yeah,
because there's no real anatomical anything for that.
He could just fuck around.
He could just make stripes and an angry face.
I think it looks good.
That's what he did. I mean, the legs very much remind me of Rob Liefeld with just, I'm just going to make a bent.
I know, just a bent
triangle
pole,
or bent rectangle. But look, who am I to criticize?
I didn't want us to circle back. I just saw that and it blew my mind. Yes, Wesley Snipes is having a lot of fun in that movie.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's the movie where I feel like Wesley Snipes is having the most fun as the main character.
Listen, fuck it, Stallone's having a good time too.
No, I agree, but Stallone is just being himself, and that's fine.
He knows he's playing the straight man in a two-part comedy. Yeah,
right. And Snipes is being the fun guy that you secretly want him to win. You say you don't, but we all know you do.
And Sandra Bullock is really great too.
Oh well, she looks fantastic. That's probably the best looking she's been in a movie I've ever seen. She looks great in that whole outfit and everything. Oh, she looks great. But yeah, she's funny.
Honestly, you know what? The other thing I noticed, very Judge Dredd those costumes.
Oh yeah, that feels like it was meant to. Well, that's kind of what they were doing with the cops.
Yeah,
they're like
politically correct Judge Dredds.
Well, yes, there is that part of it where it's taken all the way out. But even the main guy, the boss, who's like, we'll put you back. If I don't remember he's a character actor. He's in a million things. The warden from Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. He's like, we're gonna put you back in the freezer. Yeah.
That guy, you put the Judge Dredd helmet on him and have him do the same part. It's Judge Dredd. He's Judge Dredd. So even though Stallone would be Judge Dredd and is playing that type of character, the main lieutenant or chief of that precinct is Judge Dredd. That's him. Yeah, I said, you could Photoshop the helmet onto him, and it's gonna be perfect. Yes, and just his whole demeanor of like, this is how this shit gets done, and your job is to get him, and you're done. You're back in. Like it is if Judge Dredd got promoted to head this division. That's how he'd be. No, Demolition Man is a fucking riot. It's a great.
It is. I know. It to me, it is still a very fun, like, action comedy satire.
Yes. And
but
to
make
Dennis Leary the leader of the non-PC.
Well, he's the non-leader, isn't he? He doesn't want to be the leader. Yeah.
Well, but what they did was they were like, we need you to be swearing and dirty and mean, and he's like, I can do that. And he's like, all right, run with it.
Honestly, it's just his comedy show. They're like, just do your comedy routine for us.
Who would have been interesting is if they'd gotten George Carlin to do that role. You know,
it would have been very different.
It would have been different, but that's But no, I that's what I'm saying is Stallone's fine, but he is playing the straight man.
Yeah.
Whereas Snipes is just Where? Come on, Hal. Where are the goddamn guns? Like, you don't. Those lines do not go to Stallone.
Yeah.
They go to Snipes.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
and he gets all. And he gets too. Like all that shit.
He gets all the best fight sequences as well. He beats everybody up. Like he gets all the martial arts sequences. Yeah.
Yep.
And the comedy of it is that Stallone can't actually beat him.
No.
He just gets lucky at the end and freezes his ass.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He can't actually beat him because they turn Snipes into Superman. So yeah,
well, the fact that they got Stallone he got taught to knit or
they turned him into a seamstress. I love that about the movie.
Meanwhile,
he's like, I'm a seamstress.
Snipes gets the superhero training fighting. That's great. It's great.
And the part where he knits her a sweater, he's like, I'm sorry about last night. I knit you a sweater.
Yeah. I knit you this. Thank you.
So yeah, I still think it's good. Add that to the list of movies that I think holds up, but I do think the problem with that movie is that there are some jokes that will be lost because, yeah, dude, I still have this RC thing on my desktop. I gotta close it because I keep looking at her going, I think I'd sleep with that robot. Jesus.
No, yeah, you found your Robo Mila. You gotta watch it.
My Robo Mila. Jesus Christ. Hey there, baby. So you want to be my God, my Robo Mila. You know what? What happens when you type in Robo Mila? I'm curious.
I've been waiting for you.
That's exactly what happens.
If I was quick enough to put like a robot filter on that, I would, but I don't know that I can and not screw up the audio.
Nothing bad came up
of our thing.
I give credit to the internet. Nothing bad came up.
Robo. Yeah, I wouldn't expect it.
I don't listen. All bets are off. You don't know anymore. But
that's true. You're right.
Yeah, it's a good question though. What character from your youth did you realize later on was like part of your sexual awakening?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
When you think of when you think back to the cartoons, you're like, oh man, yeah, I kind of had a thing for
cartoons or comics. I'm trying to think here.
No, I'm just in general. I'll do cartoons. We'll do cartoons because comics can get far more. Because if you're doing comics and heavy metal, because I read that shit way too young.
Oh no, it wouldn't be for me.
Well, I know that.
Mine was much more chaste in general. It was Dazzler.
I had a friend who was friggin' like crazy for Gadget from fucking Power. What do you call it? What are they called? Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Inspector Gadget?
No, Rescue Rangers.
Got it, Gadget.
And the thing was, this was a person I knew who was. This was one of those kids in my school who was an exceptional artist. Like exceptionally good at a very young age, right? And the amount of we're gonna call it inappropriate gadget art that he created was hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of that, so I'm trying to think now. I didn't do a lot of like sexualized women cartooning when I was younger that I can remember. I really am trying to think of a cartoon that there. I guess maybe there wasn't one because I can't think of one.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what toy honestly really did it for me though.
Yeah.
So like, not the character, but the toy. For some reason, I was a kid. Hold on. What is it? It's a He-Man thing. Is it the Baron? Not the Baroness.
Oh, you know what? I just thought the Baroness is probably the closest because I do remember liking her because she had glasses and dark hair.
Okay, so the Evil Lynn, the original Evil Lynn toy when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Where is it? Oh, here it goes. I'm going to send this to you.
Yeah, I'll see.
You can see it. I distinctly remember as a child seeing this toy and thinking to myself, man, it's like she's got a lot of ass. Jesus. Like she had like these big hips.
Oh, yeah, no, sure.
And as a kid I was like, wow, I was like, Evil Lynn's kind of cute.
No.
But like I can't think of like
comics.
I can't maybe that's what it is. Maybe you don't
I think it was cartoons for me.
Nothing from the cartoon world.
I think I responded more to comics than anything. Because
there was a lot more there.
Well, and I remember distinctly the three women it would be there was the Storm cover that Will No, it wasn't Willis Portacio. It was, oh my God, what's the other guy? Jesus, he's the guy who did like Deathstrike. Not Deathstrike. Jesus Christ. Hold on. He did the Inferno era of X-Men. Oh my God, his name, Mark Silvestri. Mark Silvestri did a comic cover with Storm in the Rain after Forge said he wouldn't marry her or something like that. It's from the 90s, Storm cover. You look it up. It is gorgeous, and I will never not be able to remember.
The number of people who cite Smurfette as their sexual awakening is fucking weird.
That's disturbing. I mean, I guess not. Whatever.
Yeah, don't say disturbing. Everybody has their kink. My friend, I like a mouse-human hybrid, so like...
Yeah. I just, yes. I say that because the Smurfs to me always seemed like they were 10 years old. So I always associate the Smurfs as being children. So that's why I'm like, it's sketchy for me.
Yeah, but also remember, we're talking about you as a child.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Not you now. You as a child. You as a child. Oh, you know what? God, yeah, somebody just said Lin May from Robotech. Lisa Hayes, man. Lisa Hayes from Robotech. When I was a kid, did you ever watch a show where, like, the main character... They do this in Japanese animes a lot. Where the main character wants to go after, like, the really hot girl, but then there's, like, the other girl who's, like, the good girl. He's the one he should be with. Mm-hmm. Right? That is Lisa Hayes in Robotech. She's the responsible one. She's the one that takes over command when Captain Glover gets hurt. I always dug Lisa Hayes, and I was always like, "No, man, fuck Lin May, fucking go for Lisa Hayes."
How?
Like
can
that's
I not
the
find
chick.
this cover?
And what was amazing is he does end up marrying her, so I was very happy about that as a kid. The drama.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was not Inferno. It was the adversary. What was the
I love in this
comment
section.
That was part of.
Somebody wrote, "No one's mentioned Ariel yet."
Well,
that's funny.
I mean, eventually you're going to find everything, right? I mean, that's how it's going to work.
There's something for everybody,
eventually, man. There's somebody will want every female that's ever been created in some way. That's just no. It was Willis Portage. God, Jesus Christ! I'm gonna go until I find this goddamn cover. It must have been Willis Portacio, because I can't find Mark Silvestri. I can't find a cover that he did that's the right one. So it's got... There it is. Yep. It was Willis... I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Yep. Yeah, oh my God. This is the best fucking cover. Hold on. I'm copy and pasting. So that... I have that... That cover is out.
Jesus Christ.
You never seen that? I remember that comic.
I know I've seen
not the artist so well. Oh, yeah.
I know
that's a great one.
But I mean, yeah, she is...
She's amazing in that. I mean,
that's a lot of women in that cover right there.
What a cover! It's a great cover.
Yeah. This was the time. This was the time period of very good Uncanny X-Men comics.
Yeah, man, you ain't fucking lying.
Yeah.
Shit. But and then the one that not the only other, but then I always did like, even though they're fucking gross in the comics, was the Fenris sister. There's that one.
The what?
And that was Jim Lee. Drew the Fenris sister in this outfit, which is so amazing that I don't even know how to describe it. But it's great. It's got like a triangle cut. It's where the two of them are standing together. It's a great image. What was the sister's name? Oh, not that image. Oh God.
Is this the one with the big yellow gloves? And the big yellow boots?
I don't think so. No, they're on a boat. It's like they're like on a yacht, and he's in the suit, and she's in this hot pink skirt thing. Hold on, I'll find it because it's a famous image of them. It's one of the best images of them. As soon as I look for it, I'll find it. I'm sure. No, not those. I see what you're talking about. No. No, this is their casual wear. We're out and about impressing people. They're on a boat. I know they're on a boat. I gotta find it now.
Was she in a suit?
Jesus Christ. She's wearing a pink, like, vacuum formed onto her body skirt dress thing. And he's in, I believe, a white suit. And they're on a boat. I just remember, and Jim Lee did it. Oh, yeah. Here's the comic. It's, okay, wait a minute. I found an image, but not the image from it. It's from, okay, what's this issue? Here it is. This is... Let me find the actual... Because if I find this... Okay, Uncanny X-Men number 268. Uncanny X-Men 268. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is the Captain America one. Yeah. I think that's the one. Is that what it said it was? Was it 268? No, but that can't be, because that's all in the past. Why would Fenris be in that one? That's got to be... They must have had that thing wrong. Hold on. Last seen in 268. Okay, which one is this one, though? What comic is this? Don't not tell me what comic it is. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is wrong with people? You can't be... Yeah, you gotta cite your stuff, everybody.
Yeah, cite your sources. Where are the guns, Hal?
Because otherwise what you do is you send some asshole on a show into a fucking death spiral trying to find this goddamn piece of artwork, because now it's just gonna bug me. Jim Lee. Well, it's gotta be... I mean, I can't believe I haven't found it. It's probably one of the best images of them there is. Because that Boots thing you're finding, yeah, that's ugly as shit. That's no good.
Boats.
But I know they're on a boat. I remember them being on a boat.
Psylocke had a thong forever. Jesus Christ. It's one of those few characters.
Yeah, well, Psylocke is its own can of worms.
I know, it's its own problem, isn't it?
Whew. Yeah. I still marvel at the fact, that wasn't even intended that way. I am astonished that anybody didn't see the problem there in what you are doing. You know, it's not like this is from the 30s when rampant racism was seen as adorable somehow. The shit was in the fucking 80s and 90s. And when did they transform her? It was the 90s, right? That's when
yes,
she
so
was
in
the
British
80s is when she showed up as the British version.
And then they stuck her in the Asian woman's body?
Yeah, and nobody
and then she was an
immediately
Asian
clocked that as a
psychic
problem.
sex kitten.
I mean, fuck you, man. Who? And they stuck with it for so long. I know why.
Honestly, they only retconned it, like in the 2000s.
That's what I'm saying. Is
when they split them off from each other.
They backed that bad idea for so long.
Mm-hmm.
When you had to know. Like I said.
You know what? Don't say that. Don't say that they had to know, because we watched the movie. We watched a few movies. We watched the movies in particular where you're sitting there going, come on, guys. You had to know. You had to know this was weird. Come on. You had to know.
Well, okay. No. No, I will say it, and I'm going to tell you why. A movie, the comics with Psylocke, they weren't done by the same people for a couple years.
No, and honestly,
they were done by many different people over many years, and you can't tell me nobody brought that up.
You come on
and
the
somebody
comic
higher
book.
up said, leave it.
No, you come on the comic book, they hand you your characters, they go, here you go. And you're like, okay. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people who don't do the homework. I think they just show up, they get given the scripts, and they do it. They don't think about the characters, they don't think about the backstory, they just work on what they've got. Which pisses fans off, because fans are like, but what about this, that, and the other thing? I don't think anybody can read everything and be prepared.
I found it.
Please.
I knew I'd find it.
Provide me with your sexual awakening. I'm waiting
copying.
with bated
Look,
breath.
oh my God, it still holds up. Which, like I said, it's unfortunate that she's this gross of a character where they're incestuous, but holy shit, do I love that.
Oh my God.
Look.
Jesus, man.
Oh,
you like some trashy girls.
I sure do.
Listen, I don't blame you, man, because it is amazing. You mean she's got like the chain link garter belt
chains and
thing
the boots
going up and the boots and Jesus Christ.
All I'm saying, everybody, is it leaves an impression.
What does
That's
that
Jim
look?
Lee.
No, I know the art, but I'm just trying to imagine what a dress like that would look like on like a person.
Yeah, well, I can tell you the actress who at the time would have worn it would be Sybil Danning. Had the body and the look for that. You look up Sybil Danning, she looks exactly like this woman. In fact, I would not at all be shocked if Jim Lee based this look on Sybil Danning.
What year was this?
Oh, this would have had to be early 90s, I would say. Hold on, let me find the exact... It did cite... This image, I will point out, did cite the fucking comic.
So oh no, I can totally see it. Yeah, Sybil Danning from the '90s, and earlier.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus
is
Christ,
what I'm saying, right?
Oh yeah, she did Hammer movies. Okay.
She was wearing. Wait, that's the Howling 2 woman. We watched a movie with her. She's the Howling 2.
With the endless brush shot. Yeah.
Yes, that's her. Right? That's that.
I can't think of that movie without laughing. Oh, man, yeah, I could totally see her in that outfit.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I understand, yeah.
That and Dazzler. Dazzler in her early 90s look when she had the short hair and kind of looked like Denise Crosby from TNG a bit. When she had like that blue jumpsuit thing. Dazzler 90s. And like the headband. Yeah, it worked. It was good.
You know, I'm glad that you had far more of a specificity about this stuff.
Yeah. Plus, Art Adams drew a lot of these characters, which helps.
I mean, yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
Giant. I mean, it's so 80s trash. The giant shoulder pads.
Right?
Giant shoulder pads.
Listen, I have had a type for a long time. Like when we watch these movies, you're like, oh yeah, you're into something.
Yeah, Mike's
no
mom, man. Mike's mom.
Yep, Mike's mom. Oh, there it is. I found the Art Adams image.
Yep.
Here we go. Yeah. That version of Dazzler, I liked a lot. That's kind of a weird pose she's in, but Art Adams has his things too.
Yeah, well,
He sometimes bends women in shapes that look very painful.
Okay, I don't know any comic book artist that doesn't bend women in shapes they're not supposed to be.
No, I agree, but he does some, and this is a person who owns so many of his sketchbooks, it's unbelievable.
Some of his men are doing things too as well that...
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Longshot's back is fucked up in that image too, so I'm not saying it's just women. But
yeah, Longshot, like the most famous mullet in Marvel Comics.
Holy crap. I mean, seriously. But yeah, I like that version. And what's funny is and I am clearly not the only one because somebody has made imagery of that version of Dazzler that looks really good. Like you can see, here it is. I've seen this before. I don't know. I assume this is AI, but I don't actually know. But yeah, I've watched that movie. That version of Dazzler running around, shooting people with light and shit. Movie? Yeah, doing pop songs in between, Miami Connection style. Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd fucking watch that easily.
You need to find a director that's really interested in the 80s is really what it is. Who wants to pursue that. You know, because I mean, that's the thing.
I'd be fine.
Some of these characters would really work. Like, for example, the Fantastic Four thing, they put them in an alternate, like, 70s, 60s.
And that's the only way it works.
And it worked, right? So it's that idea where it's like, yeah, some of these characters, they really work in a certain field. Whereas, like, Dazzler would work really well in the 70s and the 80s.
Well, I think Dazzler can work in any time period, but she has to be a pop star.
She does.
It has to be a musical. Otherwise, it just you lose half the characters. The interesting thing about Dazzler specifically is she's a mutant that can work in the public, whereas a lot of the mutants want to hide. Whereas Dazzler likes to do shows and sing, and her power comes from it.
She's loved too. Like people like her.
She can literally power herself if she just aims speakers at herself and hits a high note. She'll charge herself up. You know? That's pretty fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong, other mutants can get charged too.
Out of curiosity, just because...
Yeah.
Because I don't really know specifically Dazzler's complete power set. How are Dazzler and Jubilee that different from each other? Because I know that Jubilee created like hard light or something like that.
Okay, so there's 3 characters that are very, very similar. Jubilee, Boom Boom, and Dazzler. In terms of the fact that they generate these things. The thing that and I don't actually know this for a fact, but this is my read of it, is they wanted to make Dazzler younger. And the first way they did that was they made Boom Boom, who's essentially Dazzler but light bombs. Boom Boom generates light bombs.
I barely remember Boom Boom.
Oh, she was in New York, the New Mutants. That's why I remember. She's basically the kind of proto Jubilee. Jubilee was the better version of Boom Boom, who was a worse version of Dazzler. All right, now we're getting way into nerd territory, so get ready, everybody. Jubilee's powers, unless they've changed her, initially are non-offense. They're just distractions. She makes fireworks and shit. She makes bright, distracting lights.
Yeah.
The worst she can do is temporarily blind you. Dazzler Oh, I fucking love Dazzler. Dazzler, you can find panels where when she's charged up, she points her finger like a gun and fires a laser into your fucking face. After she just sang like ABBA. And then she's like, bam, you're fucking dead. Dazzler fucking rules. I've always liked Dazzler as a character because she's such a strange creation. In that, she really is a disco creation. Her initial outfit is a disco outfit. Really.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So she's like this disco queen who's got control. She's like the living laser, but cooler. Wow, here you go. Dazzler is a better version of the living laser. Boom Boom is a worse version of Dazzler that fizzled. And Jubilee was a better version of Boom Boom, who's not as strong as Dazzler, but because they paired her with Wolverine, she worked.
I think you just leveled up and nerded him right there.
Man, did I? In fact, I got through that entire sentence in a way that makes sense and is correct.
You're gonna have to do your stat points now because I think you just leveled. Whole thing.
Yeah, I really will. But that's the difference. Is Dazzler can fucking kill you. Now, so can Boom Boom, but they never really. Boom Boom's powers were really sort of too specific.
Yeah.
Because she literally just snapped her fingers and then threw a light bomb at you, which is fine. I don't know what the source of Boom Boom's powers are, really. I think she just generates them and she can just get tired. But I can't even I have to put X-Men because you put Boom Boom, you get a million things. Here's a site on boomboxes.
Like I said, I don't remember the character very well.
Whoa. I've never seen her drawn like that. Somebody way over-sexualized her and jacked her up. Like, she's ripped. Okay. Let's see. She was in Secret Wars. Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. She was in Secret Wars. She looks so stupid. I do remember that now. Yeah. No, she did. The ability to create variably sized yellow orbs and spheres of pure plasma, fiery-like energy, which she calls her time bombs, which explode with concussive force. She can produce marble-sized bombs and has produced time bombs ranging up to the size of beach balls, which are able to destroy durable objects, including Nimrod. And she controls the amount of time. That's it. That's all she does. Whereas Dazzler has control of fucking light. Like, she generates light. She could become a supernova, essentially. Yeah, Dazzler's fucking awesome. Like, people slam Dazzler a lot because she started out as a disco thing, and I've always been irritated.
Yeah, but a lot of these characters also, I mean, if they're not used well, then people just go, you know.
Yeah, well,
it comes down to people not using them right.
And admittedly, and I think they actually, I remember a lot of times they did this well in the comics. Dazzler really doesn't make much sense as part of the X-Men, and she was always kind of trying not to be in the X-Men, but kind of got dragged into it. Yeah. So, but yeah, so she converts sound.
She was in the open. She had her whole career. I mean, like she was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So she didn't want to be part of it. But she's very powerful. So she can transduce sonic vibrations, which reach her body, you could go a lot of ways with that, into various types of light. So any sonic vibration she can make into light weapons. Just think, she can sit on a dryer and not only have a great time, but level a city. That's a fucking great character. But yeah, and
she can sit on a dryer.
With music, since she's musical, steady music is a more reliable energy source. She can do more with music because it has a beat. I remember that. She said that when something has a precision to it, like a repeatable sound, like a vibration that's steady, she can do more with it because I guess her body can understand it better. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah.
Are you, just to change subjects on here for a second.
Sure. Yeah.
Are you going to get this Sideshow Storm premium format statue?
Oh, I already have ordered it on the layaway plan. Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it. Just checking.
I've already made 2 payments. Are you kidding?
I just saw this and I was
Are you kidding?
I figured it was up your alley.
I now have, or will have, 2 of the Holy Trinity. I've got 2 of them now. Just got to get the third one, which will probably never happen.
Two-Face and...
Two-Face, Storm, and Beta Ray Bill. And they will never make the Beta Ray Bill I want. I already know it.
I know. You know who does a really good Beta Ray Bill, though? Was it XO? Yeah. They do a really good Beta Ray Bill. They do probably one of the best Beta Ray Bill statues I've seen out there.
I don't remember that one. XO, Beta Ray Bill. Hold on, let me see.
Pretty sure it's XO.
Is it Diamond Select or XO? Because I see a Diamond Select one.
Oh, is it XO? I'm pretty sure it was XO is the name of the company.
Maybe
Yeah, sorry,
I don't
XM.
see it.
I'm sorry, XM.
Oh, XM. Okay.
Yeah, XM does a really good one.
XO is not coming. Oh, yeah. See, no. That's not what I want.
Really? Why is
It's
that?
nice. Nope. I want essentially... What's the closest analog to it? I don't like... With figures with capes especially.
Yeah, you don't like the...
I don't like dynamic poses. It just never looks right. I want him standing stock still with the hammer, where he's holding the hammer basically...
You want him waiting.
With both hands. I want him standing there like you can run into him with a truck and the truck's going to explode. Like he's just waiting for you to hit into him. I also don't like that version of the hammer. And see, this is what I'm saying. They will never make the version of Beta... Well, maybe they will, but it's unlikely that we'll ever get the version I want, which is the original Walt Simonson version. I don't like that outfit. I don't like much about that XM one. It's nice figure-wise, detail-wise. It's well made. But I do not at all like that version of Beta Ray Bill. I want the classic version, which I have the Bowen mini bust, which is the version I want. In fact, if they made that where it was full body, that's what I would want. Or him holding the hammer, as Thor has done many times. I don't even want him holding it up. So, if I ever hit the lottery, I'll commission somebody to do it. I'll pay him like $100,000 or whatever they would charge to make me a good one.
Wouldn't that be a thing, huh?
Boy, would it. I would, if I won enough money, I would bring about some wonderful art into the world that only I would appreciate, but it would still be wonderful. Believe me, there would be commissions happening in a lot of places from a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Storm statue is something else.
Oh.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's the one. They got it 95% right, and I know they'll never get it any better.
It looks like Grace Jones.
It does, which I'm fine with. The better version would, of course, be Angela Bassett. That's the one. Or Tina Turner.
Man. Ooh,
those are the two you base her on. But
it is. I mean, absolutely.
Regardless.
Angela Bassett is Storm. Oh.
All right. You can see it immediately.
I mean,
like Strange Days, Angela Bassett as Storm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she was fantastic in that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Angela Bassett should have been Molly.
Angela Bassett should have been a lot of characters.
Yep.
But you're correct. Molly and Storm are the top two where, how did you not get this right?
Yeah. I mean, well,
Halle Berry's fine.
And honestly, isn't there supposed to be a Normancer series that's coming out some in the near future?
Yeah, no. Apple's doing it, so it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully it won't be shit. I mean, because Apple's doing it, so there's that hope. But, I mean, that's a tough...
Yes, that's an incredible statue. I'm looking at it right now. I can't wait to have that.
Well, I applaud you. I applaud you.
No, I looked at it. I remember when they did the announcement, you could only see a little of it, and I went, okay, if they get this even close to what I've had in my head for a while, and they got close enough where I'm like, I thought about it I said, okay, I'm going to think about this for 5 minutes. And if at the end, I still think I should get it, I'm getting it. And I sat there for 5 minutes.
No, I always sleep on it. I always say, okay, you know what? I want this. I'm going to sleep on it. If it's a lot of money, so I have a level here of my decision making, right? So like at first I sleep on it. I give myself 24 hours. And then it also depends too on the nature of how limited it is, right? So if it's something that could go away at any moment, 24 hours is my max, right? But if it's something that like I know I have some time, like it'll be there in like a week. Sometimes I'll even give myself a week just to really like kind of step back and go, do I really need this? Because I mean there are things where you're like, you have that immediate response where you're like, this is amazing. And then you're like, well, you know, do I really need it? Like, but no, that's
obviously the answer to that is no. But
no. But I mean, within the realm of liking a thing, you know, it is an incredible Storm statue.
That is the thing. It's one of the three.
I have not seen a Storm statue like that done so well.
Not one where she's in the leather. Not the I've seen really good Storm statues, but they're generally either the current outfit where it's, you know, the big loopy stuff and the big hair, which is fine, the long hair, but you don't typically see the leather outfit with the mohawk.
No, they do the goddess one a lot more.
Yes. Now, and I'll tell you this, if it had been the Storm as Thor version, I would not have gotten it. Because while I like that version, I don't like it that much. But the leather outfit, the leader of the Morlocks, like, obviously she has her powers in this, but the perfect version is when she didn't have her powers and she had like the leather jacket and everything. That's the perfect version. But I just don't think they're ever going to make that. It just they've gone to this version of it. That's fine. It's close enough. It's still got. Man. It's a beautiful statue, and it's like I said. I really doubt that anybody will make a statue of this scale, of this version, this close. That was the decider. I really thought to myself, do I think they'll ever do it again? And I thought, no, they won't.
They make a lot of really fucking big statues these days too. Have you noticed that? Like,
well, that's why
it used to be they used to make a lot of smaller stuff, but lately they've been making like enormous statues where I'm seeing like, oh, this one's half human scale, and I'm like, what?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
Who needs that in their house?
I mean,
some of these are massive.
I'll tell you what. Man, that Two-Face statue is so good. I look at that statue all the time.
That thing's what is it, 1/3 or 1/4?
It's the same size as that one. It's I don't know what they call it. It's 2 feet plus or whatever it is.
It's fuck off huge is what it is. Yeah.
It's fuck off huge. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know.
And his doesn't even light up. This one lights up, I think, doesn't it?
Yes.
I don't even care if it doesn't.
I can't give you a lot of shit. I got the Ghost Rider statue because honestly, the sheer level of rage in that statue.
Oh no, it's great. That's a great statue.
And it lights up.
No, that's very good.
Bright as fuck too. I pre-ordered that thing before I even knew it had lights. They had to inform me after the fact.
He's 22 inches. It's considered quarter scale.
Quarter scale. There you go.
Yeah, it's fucking.
They're fucking cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Sideshow has come so far in the kind of stuff that they produce.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm 18. Jesus, what are you showing me? This is the new Deja Thoris statue. Which honestly, this is just a stripper. I hate this Doja Thoris statue. She's half scale. Right? And when you look at her, she's just a stripper. There's nothing there that really screams Princess of Mars.
No. If you didn't know, you would never know.
No, you'd be like, that's a stripper. Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Sideshow's come a long way, but there is a lot of that shit happening too where I'm like, okay.
You're like, that's definitely a stripper.
Whatever. You know what, though?
Yeah?
Somebody's buying it.
Oh yeah, I mean there's always someone to buy everything.
I'm also the person who looked at the Weapon X one and went, he should be nude, and he's not.
Yes,
he should be nude.
He should not be nude. There should be a well-placed piece of machinery right between his legs, just to
Yeah. Oh, just paint it dark. That's what they did in the comic. Just paint it black.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Leave his little adamantium there and just paint it black.
Leave his little adamantium.
It's fine. I mean, I assume
that's the first thing that gets burned off in a fight. There's no fucking adamantium.
No kidding.
There. There's no bone there. Man, that must be the last thing that grows back too. Jesus,
wait a minute.
man. Wonder how much time Wolverine spends without a penis.
Can you not take the pants off? You can't. See, that's a deal breaker for me right there.
When you wanted to take off his pants.
He's supposed to not have pants. Now, I know this is a weird thing to get specific on, but you read this comic. We know that's how he looks.
His pants off.
Yes, he should not have pants on.
Hold on. I gotta see what we're talking about.
Oh, you haven't seen the statue? Or the figure?
No, hold on.
Oh, it looks great. Other than that, the Weapon X, 6 scale.
Is this the oh, Jesus Christ.
It's a pre-order. $270.
You know, my son baffled me the other day, by the way, just to mention this, because he's I found something on a website called eBay. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's called eBay. And I'm like, you mean
eBay?
eBay? And he's like, yeah, but he's like, isn't it?
eBay.
It looks like eBay. And I'm like, no, it's fucking eBay, man. I'm like, it's from a time period
does look like eBay.
Where everything had an E in front of it to make it sound more electronic.
God,
I was like,
that's
why
great.
it's
eBay.
email. eBay, yeah. Email. I was
Email.
Like, is this the Wolverine Weapon X premium format statue? Where he's in short,
he's
floating in water?
No. It's a 6 scale. It's a figure. You can pose it.
Oh, okay.
It's
the
a
270?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Oh, yeah, they got him in like stretch shorts.
Yeah, it's stupid. He looks like the Hulk.
You know what? They just didn't want to make his pee-pee. Like a 1/6 scale pee-pee is
I understand, but I'm saying you could have just painted it dark. Because it doesn't look like they come off.
No, they don't come off.
Which means even if you cut them off, it probably looks stupid.
Hold on. You know what?
Yeah. What?
Those come off. I bet
you think
those
so?
come off. Yeah. I bet you those come off.
They look loose, but I don't know that you can. It doesn't say removable.
Listen,
I looked at the details.
I this is a terrible, I guess, flex. I know 1/6 scale action figures really well. I used to collect the fuck out of them.
Someone else is nerding up there or leveling up their nerd.
Oh my
Go ahead.
god! You know what? I was trying to explain to my kids what a nerd I was the other day because I was like, "You guys just don't understand." Like, Daddy was like king nerd, still is on that. You know, I am still a knight errant of nerddom. What can I say? That is fabric, and I'm telling you, it's probably a Ken doll underneath.
That's what I'm saying. Is even if it does come off, I doubt it's actually.
He's a Ken
sculpted.
doll. This is
Yes.
Barbie Ken Weapon X.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh man, hold on.
Yeah.
Ken doll Weapon X. Has anybody done that? Because somebody should.
Probably.
No, nobody's done a Ken doll as Weapon X.
Really?
Yeah, somebody should.
Wow.
By the way, I just want to apologize to those listening. I am sick and I have a really terrible cough. So if you hear me like sucking on a lollipop, this is actually a throat loss.
I haven't heard it yet.
Well, I'm just saying in case because I know that people have.
It doesn't seem noticeable yet. So.
But no, nobody's done a Ken doll Weapon X. But yes, if you
I'd
pull
like
the
to
shorts
apologize
off,
because we spent all this time on whether Wolverine should have shorts or not.
well, you shouldn't. Okay, hold on. That's not a question. He shouldn't have shorts.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. Yeah, but the reason they put shorts on him was because they were worried, about selling a naked, Hugh Jackman doll. There's people who respond to that thing weird. But those shorts come off, and underneath, he's a Ken doll.
And there is my real problem. Like, fine, you want to have them on for the pictures, you want to have them on by default. That's okay. I know not everybody
They're not going to put.
is that comic accurate.
Hot Toys is not making cock and balls. You know what? Let's look it up. Hot Toys.
If they actually make genitals? Oh, I'm sure they do. You don't think so?
No, I don't.
No.
But let's look it up. I love to get on lists. Genitals. I wrote gentiles. Jesus Christ.
Gentiles, well.
Okay, let's see. Do they? No, they don't. Oh my
Yeah. Well, that's too
God.
bad.
Is that a 1/6 scale strap-on? Holy shit. People are serious.
See, you can get that, though.
Oh my God, you can buy cocks for them, then glue them on.
I'm sure. Well, I knew.
Oh
I
my
figured that. I shouldn't say I
God,
knew
you know
that
what?
like I knew
this
that.
This
but
is
I
so
figured
different than when I was collecting these many, many years ago. Holy hell.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a
There's
very
stick
different
on
world than when we were
vagina?
collecting.
And
yeah,
my
sure.
God, you can just get them a strap on. That's God damn it!
Well, now we can tell you're sick. There it is.
Oh my God, that shit's hilarious. Oh God, I can't laugh really hard. It kills me. But I mean, that is something else, man. You know what?
Yeah.
It's times like this where humanity really gives me faith. Whenever I think, yeah, we're fucked, everything's ruined, blah, 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 then I'm like, God, somebody took the time of day to make penises to glue on 1/6 scale figures. For whatever reason. Somebody did that. And it's there in the world, and someone is going to buy it. And I was like, you know what? That makes me feel better. It lets me know that things are still weird as shit. And that people are still doing weird crap. It's still out there. Like, he said everyone's like, everything's just so boring now or something like that. It's like, it's not boring. It's not boring at all. It's fucking weird as shit out there. The toys have penises. Good. I can't believe they would. You can and you can buy them in different sizes. It's not even like there's just one. There's like 12 sizes for this shit. That's hilarious. You can buy vaginas. Try and skin match them. You can get different types of vaginas if you have,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so fantastically weird. I love it. Oh my God, this guy's holding. You could buy a bag of dicks for your toys. There you go. A 1/6 scale bag of dicks. That's hilarious. Oh yeah, it comes in lots of colors. Yep. Ah, man.
Has anybody ever made a Dazzler statue? Yeah, only the disco version.
Yeah, we can't get a bag of vaginas, though. Can't get a bag of vaginas.
Well, you can get a bag of vaginas.
So no, Hot Toys does not appear to make genitals, right? But if you want to put genitals on your Weapon X toy,
You can.
there are many that you could just sugru or glue on there if that's your thing. I mean, you're going to have to come up with your own pubic hair. And you can decide whether you want... I mean, the real question is Weapon X rock hard? Or is he flaccid? I like to think that if you... In a real kind of aggressive Weapon X setting, I think Weapon X is erect through most of that. I can't think of anything scarier than being a soldier at the end of the hallway and seeing Weapon X with all that machinery come down with the claws, stiff as a board. I mean, what could be more frightening than that?
Clive Barker agrees with you, because that's what Rawhead Rex is for most of the story.
Which was Rawhead Rex?
That's the one where they accidentally unearth the kind of pagan god, and he's this giant thing with that's got his... He's like pissing and jerking off on people constantly. The one that's afraid of pregnant women or menstruating women. You don't remember that one, Rawhead Rex?
Oh, shit.
They made a terrible movie out of it.
Gonna have to reread that.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
No, Rawhead Rex is a giant erection running around. And the thing that he walks in, they're like this thing that has like blood on its teeth and these giant claws and a massively erect penis. And they're like, holy shit, we're going to die. And it turns you upside down and drives your head into the ground. That's how it kills you. So literally the last thing you see is its giant penis flying by your face as it drives you into the ground.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Clive Barker was having a bad night that night, huh?
It's the Books of Blood. It's one of the Books of Blood stories.
Oh, there you go. That's funny.
Which I think I'm going to I think I'm going to do an audio version of the Candyman story, The Forbidden, because I just want to read it out loud. It's funny, though, because it's so hard to divorce. Here's a tangent. Candyman to me is the movie, but the story is very British. It is not in America. It has no racial component. It's in like impoverished housing in Britain, and it's extremely British because everybody's talking like a Cockney.
No, I know, but there
Doctor
is still a racial component to that. There's still a very strict...
not like it is in the movie. It is barely in there.
No,
it's more worse about poverty as opposed to race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is it's not, that's class.
Interesting. So the original version,
class.
So the original version, is very white, and then they basically made it racial when they made the movie.
The description he gives is jaundice, like yellow-skinned, that he's unhealthy. They don't give him, so there's nothing specified, but there's nothing indicating that any of the characters are. I mean, you would imagine that there are some black characters, but it's not. The setting of the movie is very specific. The character, like, there's no thing where he was a slave that was a painter that dated a what. None of that is in the book. The story it's all missing.
I didn't realize that. I thought that was from the book somewhat as well.
No, the books only. The only thing that really, okay, not the only thing. The central character trait, is that because she dispelled the myth. Now he has to come back. That's the same as in the movie where he's like, yeah, you got them to think that guy was me, and that's sapping my power. So he uses the same line, I was compelled to come because you made them unafraid. Basically the Freddy Krueger idea. You made them unafraid of me. Now my power's gone, so I got to come get you. And he does have the hook, but there's none of his backstory. He just has a hook. And there's no component of that in there. So now that was all added for the movie, which makes the movie all the more impressive because it works so well.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there is nothing that specifically, now you could read wherever you want as far as, the race. Nothing to say he isn't black, but isn't. But
it's not a major component of the story.
No. In fact, if you look at illustrations of him, he looks more like a goblin than anything. He looks like a monster. He doesn't look like a man.
Interesting.
I don't know why that's the inference, but it's very different.
Yeah, I got to brush up on my Clive Barker. I haven't read a lot of his stuff in a while.
Yeah, it's like I said, that was one of the reasons. I mean, I read those books the Books of Blood every so often anyway. But some of those are so good. But yeah, in fact, this article says the movie is actually generally seen as superior to the source material because of what it added in terms of complex themes. Yeah, the story, the book story, is a very basic scare tale, which is woman hears rumors of a monster, then because she's in academia, they attribute it to people just wanting to get their names in the papers over fantastical events. She discredits it. He shows up, kills her. That's it.
Well, there you go.
It's a good story. And the other thing that's central to it is the doorway painting. You know, the big face.
Yeah.
And the sweet thing that is still there. But none of the backstory. There is no backstory on why he's got a hook for a hand. He just has one. He's just a monster.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, the new version that came out, if it's just that simple, I mean, the new version almost feels closer to the original book and yet further at the same time. There's that idea that when you dispel it, the myth needs to be rejuvenated now and then to keep people afraid. That's
the central point. That's really what they carried. That part is carried over almost entirely because there is still the bathroom killing, although she doesn't get assaulted. That is different. She gets knocked out, but it's a different type of scene. And the in the movie, she saves the baby, right? Yeah, the baby's dead. The baby gets killed in the book. And she's never blamed. She's questioned, but she is never put in. All that's out of it. There's none of that where she's ever a suspect or any of that kind of stuff. They think the mother did it because the mother was there and nobody else was.
Who wrote the script for the movie? Didn't he have a hand in that?
I want to say he did. So he probably, I would imagine it was a collaboration thing where they were like, well, here's a way to make this. I need the old version. Where's the original? They all come up with the new one.
Because I know that he thought
fine,
the new one was good. I know he thought he
no. I think he recognizes that setting it in, that adding the racial component was, yes, he was a writer along with the director. So that was a collaboration. That's what I thought. So those two figured out correctly that you can amplify this thing so much by giving it a specific target. And it is, and I would agree, it is a massively more memorable story in the movie. But that's what makes the book version kind of interesting is how simplified, how streamlined it is, which is just down to, it's a ghost story.
It's funny, too, because when you look at some of his other work, that you look at it and you go, wow, this can never be made. Like a Magica, I don't know if a Magica or Weaver World can ever be made into a single movie because there's just so much going on. And yet some of his short stories, they're just sparse enough to be made into pretty good movie. I mean, Cabal ended up becoming Nightbreed, and I think Nightbreed is an interesting movie.
Oh, yeah. Hellbound Heart was a short novella. They got Hellraiser out of that.
There you go. That's what I mean. Like, it's amusing because the reality is that a 2-hour movie is really a short story. Whereas if you want to do a book justice, it's got to be like a mini-series.
Yeah.
You know, like
especially the longer ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing all the Harry Potter movie now as like a season each on HBO. So it'll be fascinating to see how HBO thinks they're going to pull that off.
Or you have to do a Lord of the Rings style super version where it's 6 hours long, and then you can do it, which is a miniseries.
Yeah. God,
Books of Blood. I'm shocked more of that has not been adapted because it's so easy to do it. Some of those stories are so they make complete sense as low budget because a lot of them don't. This is the other interesting part about a lot of the Books of Blood stories. Most of them, I don't imagine, would take much in terms of budget because they're not. There's a couple where, okay, if you're going to make this, you're going to have to put some money into it. Like there's the one where there's all these creatures out in the desert that go on parade, and you would have to CG everything. They're just so weird.
Well, man, listen,
diverse.
You know somebody who does lower budget movies.
Yeah, actually, you bring that up, and I do want to tell Len, hey, you should look at these because the one that I just read in the abandoned swimming pool would be really easy to do because it's just really like 3 locations, and 2 of them are apartments. And then the swimming pool area, and it's, you have to kind of give the idea that it's a big spiral, but you can do that easily. You can do that just by saying it as opposed to having an actual overhead shot or something. But that one's really weird, and it's very simple. The one where now that one you'd have to CG, but boy, I could see somebody like, but it's almost too short, where the body parts are rebelling and then cutting themselves off. It starts as hands and then it's legs, and you see legs hopping around, and it's because they are all becoming sentient. They don't want to be attached to people anymore, so they're cutting themselves off. So there's all these hands running around and shit. It's great. It's called The Body Politic, which is fucking a great title. You know, like In the Hills, that one where the people are strapping themselves into giant creatures that fight each other, and it's just a massacre when they fall apart because they're all ripping each other to shreds as the body comes apart, and it's literal rivers of blood flowing everywhere. That would be amazing to see, but you'd have to CG the giant people monster. You could never do it. But there's smaller ones that, like the Candyman one, they actually did more with the movie than the story gives you. And there's a lot of those.
And let me tell you,
Nightbreed, you know,
that floating Candyman from the remake or from the sequel, whatever, that stays with me.
They did. He does float in the story. His feet are off the ground.
Man, that stays with me. The floating thing. So the story I'm writing now, that inspired me. That one of the main villain, I guess, one of the main villains in my story, their feet never touch the ground. And
great.
No one realizes
Simple
it because they wear a dress that covers their feet, so they don't realize. But then later on, you're like, oh my god, their feet haven't touched the ground in hundreds of years. Yeah, I love that. I love weird little shit like that. It just makes it so much more. Yeah, I mean, Clive Barker is one of those authors too, where like there's some of his books that really are just like Imagica is such an incredible series. The two books is such an incredible like story, just how wild and weird it gets. You know, and Clive Barker is one of those great authors that he always hints at things that are older and weirder, and that it gives you space to like you know, fantasize about how deep and how bizarre it does get. You know, I mean, like, that's the thing with like Lovecraft. Like Lovecraft, you know, he always, I mean, it's terrible at times, but there's always this impulse with him that there's far more out there that's weirder and terrible and older than you can even, you know, you can fathom. You know, and it's like, I'm showing you just a tiny little piece of just how bad this is, right? And I love that he leaves that space open for you. I mean, in Lovecraft's case, it's terrible. Like, it makes you feel terrible. But in Clive Barker's case, like, there is like a wonder. You know, and I think that it's rare when you find an author who leaves space for the reader to really just wonder and doesn't write it out, because some people can't. They don't want to leave fantasy on the table. If there's something that they can expand on, they'll expand on it. You know, I mean, this is the problem we're having right now with like the Lord of the Rings stuff, where it's like, you know, every sentence from every appendices is getting expanded out now. People are going, we can make a movie of this, we can make a movie of that, and you're like, well, you don't. You don't need to. Like, leave it to the imagination. You know? And I think we were just talking, I was just telling you the other day about, I saw this thing about how, in one of the appendices, they talk about Legolas coming back to take Gimli to the Undying Lands. Because he's very, very old, and he is going to die. And you know what? I didn't know this. So I thought that if you got brought to the Undying Lands, that you didn't die. And the elves don't die. But everybody else still does. So, like, Gimli goes to the Undying Lands to see Galadriel one more time, and he gets to go because he's such good friends with Legolas. But he does die there. And it's like, we don't need a miniseries about this. You know, we don't need a film. It's fine. It's a comment he made. It's there for your imagination to, like, imagine it. Like, oh, what must that have been like? And to dream about it. But I feel like of late, you know, there's a lot of, they just want to turn everything into a miniseries. Every sentence, you know, they're like, oh, we could do a story about that time. And it's like, no, we could just let people dream. We don't need to know. You know, I mean, the entire ending of Imagica is just one big question of, where the fuck did they go? And you're like, I don't know. Think about it. You know, like, I don't feel like we get enough of that lately. And maybe that's like a 90s thing. 90s, the 80s, we were far more, like, cool with the idea of just not knowing, that we didn't need to know. You know? And, you know, I feel like lately today it's like, no, we need to know. We need to know all of it. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or am I just being crazy?
I don't know. I don't disagree. I think it's I mean, I've talked about many movies where the explanation. Look, Suspiria, the original Suspiria, which I'm going to be talking about in reference to a movie I watched that I'm going to talk about. But one of the things that I've realized about the original and the remake of Suspiria is one of the things that they invert is the narrative. In the original, the narrative is barely necessary. It's there enough to say there is one. But what the original is about is the atmosphere and the mood and the visuals. And the sound. It's about everything but the narrative.
Which?
Right. Literally, the soundtrack is screaming what the movie's about to you because it doesn't care to actually logically lay everything out. Technically, they're there. The witches are there. You do see them a bit at the end, but it's really not about that. The remake is all about that. And that's why the visuals push way back. The soundtrack's still important, but it's what do you call it? It is supporting the narrative, not overpowering it.
Having give it some thought, I prefer the remake.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Because it's more about the narrative. And I prefer the original because it's not.
More about the atmosphere, yeah.
I think they are equally good.
They're both good. Don't be wrong.
But if I'm going to sit down to have a good time, I'm watching the original.
I'm watching the new one.
If I want to sit down and be sad at the end,
that
I'll watch
dance sequence where she's like breaking that woman's neck in dance, like the dance magic sequence, that's fucking amazing.
I don't know.
That's one of those things that's one of those aspects of a movie that I kind of put in my pocket and take with me because I'm like, when is that going to get expressed in some way? Because it's so fucked up.
Well, like I said, if I want to be sad, I'll watch the new one. If I want to have a good time, I'll watch the old one because the new one's too sad with the old man and the wife and all. That's how the movie ends. Yeah, and it's awful. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it is I've said this many times, I'll say it again. It is one of the rare times where the remake of a classic was entirely justified and did its own thing while still being the original and did it as well. But the original, you can just sit down and watch, and at the end you're like, they're all burning, she got away. And that's the end of the movie. And it's, it's got a rocking soundtrack that you're going to dun, 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 dun. It's like, okay, great. Whereas the new one, when you get to the end, it's like soul-suckingly depressing. It's still great. It has great moments. I love it. I own them both. But I have to be in the mood to watch the new one. I find it less depressing than Stalker.
I have to be in the mood to put it on at all if I'm going to put it on.
Yeah, whereas the original, if somebody's like, hey, you want to watch Suspiria? I'd be like, yes, I don't care what time of day. I don't care what day it is. Fuck it, let's watch Suspiria. I want to watch a blind guy's dog get possessed and kill him. And the dog gets away. Yes, excellent. That's all I'm saying.
The dog does get away, doesn't it?
The dog lives. Dog lives. Cops are never going to... The cops are never going to find that dog. That dog's good. He's gone. They'll find another blind guy to shack up with. It's fine. It's good. But I do love the...
We'll find another blind guy. Okay.
Yeah, he will. He'll find another blind guy and be like, hey, man, my last guy fell down the stairs. Don't worry about it. Don't ask me. Let's go.
I like how the dog is a New Yorker. Hey, don't worry about the last guy. No, he fell down the stairs. Nothing to do with me.
The guy had a thing about a thing. Don't worry about it. Don't ask no questions. There
definitely weren't any witches, I swear.
Look, you want a free blind dog guy help you out or what? Don't ask me about my previous guy. We came to a disagreement.
Don't ask me about my previous blind guy. Oh my god! You know what? I want that as a shirt. It's just a profile of a dog looking one way, and on the top it says, "Don't ask me about the previous blind guy."
Wait. Let me make a note.
And then on the back it'll just say Suspiria for everyone. Oh my god!
That's actually a great idea. Let me hold on. Let me get my little thing for that. No. I keep notes of these things. I will eventually get to them all.
Oh man!
I think my last one is. Oh, yeah, never underestimate the stupidity of lust shirt. Still working on that one.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so...
Oh, my God. I got to get shirts.
Don't ask me about... What was it? Don't ask me about my previous blind guy?
My previous blind guy, yeah.
Okay. Blind, not blonde. Blind. That would be a good shirt, too. My previous blonde guy, but that's a different shirt. Use Suspiria dog...
Yeah, and honestly, you just want like a profile of the dog, kind of looking aloof, looking like New Yorker aloof. Yeah,
New Yorker aloof.
Hey, forget about it.
Looking original April O'Neil aloof,
like Tony Danza and Who's the Boss.
Yeah, all right. Got it. Use Suspiria dog. Okay,
All right.
got it.
For the sake of time,
Where the fuck are we? I didn't even look. Hey, holy
what
shit.
movie did you watch without me?
It is a movie called...
And when did you find the time?
I watched it last night, right after we finished playing Divinity.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay.
Yep. I almost fell asleep because it was late, but I'm like, nope, I need to get this watched because I keep putting it off.
Okay.
And since we accidentally watched the Dario Argento movie, we'll get to that. This one was compared as an homage to Suspiria. It's from last year. It's called Saturnalia, which apparently there's quite a few movies titled Saturnalia in the last 3-5 or so years. So make sure you put 2025.
Saturnalia?
Yeah, so the Saturn,
So
the
what's the
planet,
year?
ALIA. 2025, last year.
Oh,
Right.
I never heard of this.
I happened to come across it, and I watched the trailer, and I went, okay, yep, they're doing Suspiria stuff here. And there's some very wildly different reviews. By the way, now you see IMDb requires an account to read reviews. Hey, guess what, IMDb? Fuck your reviews. I'm not reading them anymore. They were mostly garbage anyway. So, I watched it. It was $4 to rent on Amazon. Ponied up to $4. And I liked it. Now, because I don't want people going into this thing and having unrealistic expectations. And it should be no fucking surprise, it ain't Suspiria. It doesn't get anywhere close to Suspiria. But when they do the Suspiria-like elements, they're very good. I actually kind of wish they'd done, in fact, one of my biggest problems with the movie is, and this is going to go back to the comparison between the old one and the new one as far as the originals, they don't do enough of the Suspiria stuff, because when it's done, there's a couple of dream sequences or whatever they are. I think they are dream sequences.
This guy has worked on movies. This is an interesting dude because he's basically worked. He's not as a director, but he's worked as an electrician on
he's been around movies.
Yeah, and a ton of them. Everything from like the new Superman to Thunderbolts to Captain America: Brave New World, Gotham Knights, Cobra Kai, Godzilla King of Monsters. He's been like an electrician lighting guy, right? Yeah. So he's been around movies, and then he's directed 2, Saturnalia and then Shoebox Heroes, which is a short. So this is his first full-length movie. So for a first-time full-length movie director, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was good. I would recommend people see it because I do think that when the visuals are, and look, literally, one of the first scenes is a girl getting into a car when it's raining, which is right out of Suspiria, the original. I mean, it is right out of it. But there's some beautiful imagery when he's doing the heavy color stuff. It works really well. The problem is, and this is going back to the difference between the old Suspiria and the new one, the remake, is I feel like he tried to split the difference, and that doesn't work.
Did you read about the score?
Yeah, it's done by one of the Goblin guys. It's completely forgettable.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Oh, it's a shame.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are good parts, but it is not. The problem with name checking a guy from Goblin is you expect Goblin. When you're saying it's an homage to Suspiria, we got one of the guys from Goblin.
You expect that like madness music.
Yes, and there's none of that. Now, I don't care. It didn't bother me. Because I for whatever reason, music-wise, I kind of was, because they said of Goblin and not Goblin, I went, doesn't mean that he's going to do the same thing, so I kept myself neutral there.
He's not the Goblin. He's just...
No, and there are some beautiful musical pieces, but if you didn't know that one of the guys from Goblin did this, you would never guess it. It's a selling point to get you to think of Suspiria. That's much of this is, okay, you remember Suspiria? And I think to some degree that was a bad idea because you're asking people to compare you to a giant film within horror cinema. That's a tough thing to be able to live up to. It's just. But I do think it's fair in that the dream sequences are using the color in a way that a lot of when other directors try to do it, it doesn't work. It works in here. And there's one image where he's got the main actress where her eyes like are white and she's in this veil, and it is haunting. Even if you're not as into eye scares as I am, which I do find eye stuff scary. But it's a beautifully composed shot where her eyes are like white and she's got this, and she's kind of drifting through all this smoke, and there's a lot of red and blue, and her eyes are whited out, kind of Big Trouble in Little China style. And it looks great. All that stuff looks really good. So visually, very, very well done. The story is not, again, if you're going to do this type of film, you either have to live in the atmosphere all the time like the first one did, or you got to have an airtight narrative, or airtight might be the wrong word.
Kind of like drop out of its own kind of format or something like that?
It tries to do both. And the problem is, I would say 50% or maybe a little more of the movie is not in the atmospheric realm. It's just in this boarding school. Yeah. So this young woman goes to a boarding school because her parents died, and her trust requires her to go through and graduate from this boarding school, or she doesn't get the money. And the headmistress is a Nurse Ratched type. They, in fact, name check Nurse Ratched. Hard ass, and you find out that there's this secret cult. I think, I'm not even clear on this. I can't tell if there were seemingly supernatural elements, but it was tough to tell. This is what I mean about, I rewound it to make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. They just didn't say. You would be bothered by the way the narrative is done, because it doesn't commit to one side or the other. And so when you're spending a lot of time in the real world, or whatever you want to call it, the conventional boarding house thing, then you have to have more of the narrative filling in that side of it. And they don't. It becomes a lot of mean girl stuff. There's a couple of girls who are fucking with her, including they rat her out as sleeping with one of the male students. And so the headmistress performs this very invasive sexual exam on her. And then you find out that one of the other girls, it was done to her, and has her have a change of heart. And I'm like, I don't think we needed that. I don't think we needed that the way it was done. It wasn't a rape scene, but it might as well have been.
Well, it was.
Yeah, and I get that it was to enforce the cruelty.
Is what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And there's like blood on the speculum and the gloves, and you're like, okay, we don't need this. It's fucking terrible. So the narrative. And they're showing you pieces of paper, but they're not entirely in focus. So I'm like stopping the thing to try to read them. And what it appears to be is that somehow a bunch of these students' parents were manipulated into doing life insurance things, that if their student died accidentally at the academy would get the money, which makes no sense to me at all, because they didn't fill in enough of that story element. Like, why would they do this? Were they entranced?
So they want the kids to die?
They're killing the kids seemingly to do almost a Blood Boy thing with some of these men who are never identified. There's men that show up, and they're part of some kind of secret in the basement cult thing where one of them is eating the liver out of one of the kids, and he's got like blood stuff hooked up, but then there's all these astrological things around him. But they don't really explain what it is.
Yeah, so he was kind of pulling at a lot of different ideas to see if he could get some.
Yes, and that's what I mean is the original Suspiria was kind of vague on the witch stuff too. Like, you got a lore dump from Udo Kier, but really that could have all been horse shit. I mean, it's just, okay, witch is bad. We got it. That's all right. There's 3 of them. Sure, whatever. She's invisible till she's not. Oh, you stabbed her with a peacock feather with a knife. Oh, great. All right, whatever. I don't care. It's fucking great. Who cares? And that's because that movie is drowning you in Italian nonsense, so you don't care. It's like, holy shit, this thing has wound every bit of the movie up to 475%.
Well, yeah, and the problem is
except the narrative.
They can't quite do that with this.
Right. Well, or they chose. I don't know if they did or could, whatever.
Listen,
whatever
the
reason is.
Hey, remember, this is his first full-length movie.
And that's what I'm coming back around to. I still would recommend people watch it. Because I think for a first time, and what I have read is a lower budget effort, when he does the Suspiria stuff, you can tell he can do it. I actually would be very curious what like an A24 would do with this person and give them the resources to be able to do something. Because clearly the visual side is there. The storytelling side, yeah, that could use a little fine tuning, but you can get help with that. Somebody can help you with that part. From the direction part, and then, people get it, the critics in this stupid shit, oh, this woman is playing somebody that she's clearly too old for. Motherfucker, they've been doing that shit forever. I don't care. Shut up. That's every fucking movie that's ever been made when you can't, have a 16-year-old being played by a 16-year-old because there's labor laws. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Shut up.
And there's labor laws
like
and there's
that.
sequences that you can't film. Like the
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that shit doesn't matter to me. I think that, again, the two problems with the movie, which I don't think are enough to say don't watch it. It's only 90 minutes long. I think it should have been a little longer. Then you could have done some of that exposition. Just, maybe 5-10 minutes of explaining what the cult's doing. Because at one point, the headmistress takes her scarf off and she's got this long incision down her chest. But you never find out what it is. Is she missing, literally her heart has been extracted? Is she a zombie? What is going on there? They show it to you, but then they never explain it. Well, then don't show it to me. That's what I'm saying, is there's all little things where I'm like,
It sounds like he was trying to do the thing where he's giving your imagination, we were talking about earlier, space to kind of play with it, but he didn't balance it out right.
Not enough. Right.
Yeah.
I still think it's worth seeing, especially for $4. If I paid $20 for this as a new movie, which I wouldn't have, I might have thought, I should have waited. But for $4, I think it's worth seeing. I think it's interesting. I just, like I said, for a movie that's really trying to get you to think of Suspiria, try to put that aside. You will recognize think of it this way. Don't think of it as an homage to Suspiria. Think of it as somebody who clearly has a love of how Dario Argento embraced color. And if that's all you carry in, you're going to have a good time. If you come in thinking it's going to be anywhere near either version of Suspiria, you're going to be let down.
A first-time director's movie. The fact that you're telling anyone to even see it says that it's actually not that bad.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think that the mistake that they made was marketing it the way they did. Maybe that was a studio decision. I don't know that the director wanted to do that. Maybe he was opposed to it, and they said, no, this is the only way we're going to get people to watch your movie. Which then I would say, well, then you guys are morons, because you're basically setting them up to fail. But I had a good time with it. I'm not sorry I watched it. And I would be interested, again, if he was given a little bit more leeway and a little bit of help in terms of... I would even say, I'll go this far.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, if you get more money, make this movie again. But make it with a better story, or a tighter narrative, a tighter script, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
And some more money to do more visuals. Make it 10 minutes longer, 15 minutes longer. Because I never felt like it was dragging. I never felt like it bogged down. In fact, once it got to the end, I'm like, oh no, this is the end. Because I need a little bit more of what was going on in the basement. So I need a little more of that. And that's what I mean about, it could be, the pacing was very good. I did not feel it slow down. They were building characters. They were establishing who everybody was. All that stuff was well done. It was just the resolution. It was like Delirium. Remember, you get to the end, and it's the brother, and he's just like, I've always loved you. Ah! And you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. When did we set this up? That's this with the cult. Okay, we knew something was going on, but you can't just jump straight to, okay, the cult's dead. She kills the cult. Then gets in a cab, and the cabbie is part of it. And then the movie ends. Which is fine. I don't even mind that ending.
Well, that's your stinger ending, isn't it?
It is. But then how'd she kill the cult? By just spearing the main guy. That's it? Okay. What was this cult? Why is there a cabbie who's a cult guy? Which is a kind of an Italian ending. It's that freeze frame, Jason pops out of the water and grabs the girl on the boat and it freeze frame. I get it.
Yeah,
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's the stupid stinger ending. We've always complained about
Yeah, and that part doesn't bother me.
They're like, oh no.
Because, it makes sense. They would have a cabbie bringing you to a school. That's a way to recruit. Yeah, okay, I got it. Sure. And if they try to escape, it's a way to, secretly kill the girl and bring her back. But like I said, I would still say watch it, especially for $4. People are complaining it looks too digital. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Who cares? Grow up.
You know what? Listen.
See, these complaints don't mean anything to me.
No. The point of digital of bad digital effects, I'm going to say, is if you're doing a movie and you can't afford to do good effects, the bad digital effects are supposed to be there so that you can just get the movie made. Because if a movie is good enough, you will make allowances for bad CG in the name of a good story. That is what I believe.
Oh, it's not even the CG. There is no real CG in this thing. They're talking about the look of the movie, which was shot on digital. Literally. And my response to that complaint is, David Lynch did 3 hours plus of a digital film that looks like dog shit, and it's still great. So if you're going to get that hung up on that part of it, then don't watch it. Don't watch a lot of things, because you're just going to find things to complain about. And I really think that's what some of this is. I just want to complain about something. Okay, have fun disappearing up your own asshole, because nothing is the perfect version you've got in your head. Right? Enjoy it. Because that's your whole life now. I would watch it. I would recommend people watch it, but I would, again, just come into it with neutral
that's
expectations.
Joe's
and
review.
you'll be fine.
Enjoy going up your own asshole. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Well, man, I was amazed you had time to watch a movie on your own.
I had to make the time. It was not easy.
Yeah, I am
because
surprised.
I do not have the same stamina level to stay up till 2 a.m. I used to. I used to just be able to stay up till 2 a.m. on pure paranoia and energy. I don't have it anymore. Paranoia, yes, but the energy ain't there anymore. I'm too old. Yeah.
You know what? It's terrible. I'm still up till 2 a.m. I go to bed.
Not me.
And not on purpose. I don't want to be up. Let's be very clear. I would love to be somebody who could just fall asleep at a normal hour. I am up at 2 a.m. because that's where my insomnia leaves me. And that's when, the sleep finally comes, and then I have to wake up at like 7:05 in the morning. So I sleep from 4 to 7.
I shouldn't say it never happens. Just ironically, I think 2 or 3 nights ago, I was up till almost 2 because, again, I fell into this YouTube spiral of watching reaction videos from this pair of hip-hop producers listening to rock songs, which is fascinating to me because I have no interest in reaction videos of ordinary people to things. It means nothing to me. You know what? You have to have some knowledge.
No. I'm going to make an argument here about the reaction videos, right? I have actually found reaction videos helpful for me, right? And the explanation is this. There are sequences in movies and shows, and I want to understand the how they go down, right? So remember I was talking to you a while back about the scene from Blade Runner, the whole scene with Roy Batty at the end, right? I don't know why he didn't save me, right? And what I found was that there were a lot of people that needed that fucking voiceover because they didn't get what was going on. And I think that sometimes I find that watching specific reaction videos helps remind me where that the understanding of story is a sliding scale. And that you kind of have to, for lack of a better phrase, idiot-proof your storytelling. Because if people aren't always going to get it the way you think. So for me, it's kind of a strange kind of like narrative training to kind of understand how wrong it can go when I'm coming up with sequences. And what I do is I tend to find sequences that I love from movies and see if anyone's done like a weird thing. I like the montage ones. And I go and I watch it and I go, okay, how did people react to this? Did they get it? How did they perceive it? How did they rationalize it? Right? And so for that, actually, for narrative training, it's actually been rather weirdly useful. That's me.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with other people enjoying them. I just have never gotten anything from them.
Well, I don't enjoy. Listen. I don't enjoy them. Like I said, training to understand how people react to shit.
Okay. The ones that are interesting to me are when somebody has a background in something and they point something out that I didn't know or that I didn't think about. And in the case of these two individuals because I don't listen to what I think is a lot of hip hop music. I just don't. Not for any particular reason. I like some stuff, but I certainly don't listen to nearly as much as I do as rock music and electronic music.
I don't listen to it as much at all.
I listen to some, but I'm sure 2% compared to other people.
You listen to more than me, so.
Oh yeah. And I mean, even my wife, who likes a lot of underground rap stuff, has heard me listening to things and looked at me funny. And I'm like, yeah, I like this song. I don't know why. So I'm curious when they're listening to stuff like Soundgarden, which I know backwards and forwards. And I'm like, okay, what are they going to think of this? Because I know I like this, but it's such a different type of music. And so when they're talking about the elements that they like of the songs, that's interesting to me. And I did that till like 1:30 a.m. last week because I found these two guys and I found them very interesting to listen to. And I thought they're back and forth. Plus, they are very, very good at not, unlike us, they don't go over their time at all. They play the song, discuss it a bit, and then literally the end thing he says is, like, subscribe, and we out, and he hits the end button on the thing. And it's done. Right there. Bam. As soon as they're done discussing it, that fucking video ends like you cut it with a razor blade dead in the middle of the throat. And I have a lot of respect for that, because I can't fucking do it, obviously. So to be able to be concise, holy shit. That's a rare quality, especially on goddamn YouTube. As somebody who's editing a 4-hour and plus long video on Big Trouble in Little China and what's the other video? Oh, Buckaroo Banzai, can tell you. It's rare. So I can do that if I find something of interest. And my interests get really weird sometimes. But in general, I ain't making it to midnight without being asleep. So in any event, I did make the time for Saturnalia. I made sure I wanted to watch it. And I would recommend it.
And it's great. It's great that it's a first-time full-length director, and that it didn't come out shit. I mean, that's good.
No,
You
like I said, good proof of concept for this person to get more money.
Few directors hit it out of the park on their first movie. And can you think of anyone off the top of your head who nailed it the first time they made a movie?
Well, I mean, Kevin Smith with Clerks, I guess, is the example you have to hold up.
I know, but and the thing is, if you rewatch Clerks, you know what? Clerks is funny, but I like everything that came after it more. I like Dogma, I like Mallrats,
I agree, but if you're saying who hit it out of the park first
but he did good. No, you're right. That's what I mean, but
for somebody who maxed out credit cards, made a movie, and it created a period of independent filmmaking renaissance, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's probably it then. Yeah, because, I mean, everybody else...
He's one of them. I'm sure there's other examples, but he's the one I can think of right away because it's such a minimal movie made in a goddamn convenience store. And
the writing is
hits so perfectly.
Is so witty and funny. I mean...
It's you can see a lot of paths back to that in modern filmmaking in terms of how movies were made for a while, the type of humor that got big for a while. So that would be my example of it. Also, you could say John Carpenter with Halloween, but that wasn't his first movie.
No, it wasn't.
So again, the only person I can think of right off the top of my head where their first film made for almost nothing and was a staple of the time in terms of its cultural impact, it's Clerks for us, I think. I'm sure there's other examples, but that's the one.
You know what? You make a good argument. Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess in the sake of conciseness, do you want to move on to our movies?
Yes, so just a reminder that we're in April Sleaze, and in general, I wish this sound clip had existed at the beginning of the month, or for our show in general, but it exists now. I shall play it as a just general kind of descriptor.
This is a safe space for filth.
Yeah.
So, we are
continuing.
That's from Red Letter Media. They did a review of, they do these reviews, which actually I will say are very funny. And that was, they just came up with that. That's a great
Red Letter Media does fantastic reviews.
They do.
They're a lot of fun.
So, yeah, I heard that one. And I'm like, I got to get that one. So, yes, we watched 3 more films, and I got to verify one quick thing. Oh, no. In fact, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm right. Okay, so let me play the correct clip. Here we go.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
You shut the fuck up!
Thanks for killing my mom.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. No problem.
It don't make no sense.
No.
It's Italian.
That also being from Red Letter Media, so as you can see. Yeah. So, yes, we watched a trio of Italian films. One which was not the planned film, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I had a lot of fun with how weird this week got.
Yeah. This was
I
a
mean,
real kind of
and
parade of different stuff.
And the thing is, a lot. Something that happened this week a lot was that I would joke around and be like, you know what? It'd be funny if they did this, and then they did that, and it was like, holy shit, they did that. Like, yeah, there was so much of that, of just like joking around about what the worst thing that could happen was, and then that was exactly the thing that occurred. Oh,
yes,
man.
that was a recurring theme for us, is we would say something as a joke, or wouldn't this be wild, and then it would happen. So I guess we're starting to tune in on whatever the invisible wavelength of these movies are. I guess you and I, well, I already was there, but now you're also getting on board the Italian surrealist.
Well, and also these were
thing.
like murder some of these were murder mysteries, and I do watch a lot of those, so it was like trying to figure out who the hell
but wouldn't it be weird if it happened? That's something we don't get in a lot of these movies other than these types. I'll say
it
that.
happened again, yeah.
Because they go in funny directions. So, the first movie, I bought the Forgotten Jolly Volume 9 box set, and I ripped the 3 movies from it for us to watch, but unfortunately the third one, I ripped the wrong audio track, so it was a director commentary, so that one's going to be pushed out a little bit. But other 2 we watched...
Don't worry, he found a fantastic replacement.
Oh, well, I've been saving that one.
Oh, my God.
That one has been on the list for us to watch for a while now. I've had that movie for a bit. But we started off with a movie from 1994 that has 2 official titles, one which I think is much better than the other. The title you'll find on IMDb is Madness. However, the title we saw in the film is Eyes Without a Face. Now, just to be clear, this movie has nothing to do with the classic 1960 film Eyes Without a Face. I have no idea, outside the fact that there are eyeballs as a feature.
You know what's terrible?
Yeah.
I just blanked. So, Matt, Boogie, which was the one with the horror author?
That's this one, Madness.
This one. Okay, got it.
Yes.
And then Bugu Rossi was the one with...
That's with the underground sex dungeon world.
Got it. Gay detective. Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
I got it all now. There you go. So for some reason, my brain was like mixed them up really quick for some reason. Anyway, go on.
No, I understand. We watched them in okay. So, again, nothing to do with Eyes Without a Face, the Criterion Classic type film. Not that. There is a movie, ironically, that we will be watching that is a remake of Eyes Without a Face, but that's not this one. So I'm just making this very clear in case anybody gets it mixed up later. I don't know why, outside of the fact that eyeballs are a central kind of plot point, but still, you could have called it something...
They really like ripping them out over there.
They did, but you don't call it Eyes Without a Face when there's a very well-known movie titled Eyes Without a Face. So anyway, I'm going to refer to it as Madness, which is a better title for what the movie's about anyway.
That's what I have it listed as. You know why I think they probably didn't want it listed as Madness?
Well, it's generic.
No, I think it gives it away.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah, sure. This is the thing. This is a movie that pretty much tells you who the killer is right away.
Yeah.
But this is like the mirror thing, right? Like if you watch one of these movies where they have that thing where you see the killer's face in the mirror, but then like it's so fast, but then all it takes is a freeze frame, and then you're like, oh,
Well,
they
that was
did it.
Deep Red, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could have called this. You could have called this the Terrible Blade of Dr. Dark, and it's a better.
Oh yeah,
title.
I mean honestly, it's what you should have called it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because there is a throwaway line early in the movie, I caught on to it, and I was like, wait a minute, and then the title plus that, I was like, I think I know who the killer is. And there's a few times that I wasn't entirely sure, but in the end it panned out. So I'll let you explain it.
Yeah, so it's a fairly common Italian giallo theme, which is it's about a creator whose creation suddenly seems to either inspire or has generated, like manifested, a killer. And in this case, what you have is a illustrator and a writer of a comic book titled Dr. Dark.
And the illustrator is the creator, and I think the writer somewhat as well.
Yes. It appears to be the two of them working together. Who created what? That doesn't even matter. But it's two people who are romantically involved, and they're making this comic book that is called Dr. Dark. And it has this character, Dr. Dark, who is a serial killer. Well, I think he's just an assassin or whatever in the story.
He kills, honestly, kills babysitters. That's what he kills.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Babysitter
Yeah, he
killer.
kills babysitters.
Well, no. Is that in the comic, too? That's a babysitter killer?
In the comic, he kills babysitters.
Okay. Sure. It doesn't really matter. And when the movie starts, there's already been somebody going around killing people as Dr. Dark because there's a press conference right away where everybody's like, hey, do you feel bad that you created a killer or that you inspired a killer? And the people are like, no. And they're saying it's not our fault, blah, 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 blah. But there's somebody going around and we're seeing them in the outfit of Dr. Dark killing babysitters.
And there is a fateful line in that sequence where they're talking about the character of Dr. Death, and they're like, well, Dr. Death has a split personality. During the day, he's totally a normal person. I think he's like a professor or something like that. And then at night, he becomes Dr. Death or Dr. Doom, whatever the hell he is. And that line, Dr. Dark, that line becomes very pertinent as the story goes on.
It does, although I think it could have applied to two different people equally. I think depending on how you look at it, it could have been one of two people, which is one of the things, I pointed this out in my short review. This is what makes one of these movies work or not. It's the difference between Nothing Underneath and Delirium and movies like this and movies that don't work is if you get to the end and whoever the small group of potential killers is, if all of them make sense to some degree or another, it's a success. If one of them just doesn't or is out of nowhere, then the narrative is a failure.
It should never be out of nowhere. If it's out of nowhere, then you failed.
Yeah, and just to jump to the end a little bit is at the end there's three potential killers. One that makes a little sense because he's set up to be a bit of a pervert. You never know.
And two
other two who could have equally made sense to be the killer. So the bulk of the movie is that this killer starts calling the woman and, saying threatening things. I mean, like, whatever, and leaving eyeballs in her apartment. And she's starting to have breakdowns and people around her are getting killed. And at first, she's like, I'm not going to stop doing the comic. And everybody's like, you should. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to stop doing the comic. And everybody's like, no, it's making a bunch of money now because everybody's getting killed. So you can't stop doing the comic. And meanwhile, this killer is getting closer. And then the cop with a funny mouth and his
the cop, his mouth would move so weird. Like it just wasn't
very strange.
It was like he was the actor was over pronunciating the words, but then it was
it was
just strange. Yeah, he was like there was a hypnotic nature to it where you'd be like,
there is. You just stare at his mouth because he keeps sucking on this licorice cigarette or whatever. It's weird.
Yeah,
and his mildly dehydrated Robert De Niro lookalike sub-lieutenant is always hanging around with a little ponytail. And they get to a point where they arrest somebody, a reporter, who is dressed up as Dr. Dark and appears to be the killer. And they're like, hey, case closed.
That's like halfway through the movie, too. So you're like, wait a minute.
So we know that's not right.
Yeah.
There's no way. And so the movie proceeds along until we get to a point where the woman, the illustrator, the illustrator is a woman named Giovanna. And the writer's name is Nico, and they end up on a boat with Massimo, who does seem
and-
to be a
and-
bit of a weird pervert.
Yeah, but at this point, too, there's shit that's gone on where you're like, wait a minute, both the writer and the artist are being weird. And you're beginning
Yes.
to suspect them both.
Right. And they're the ones that would both make sense because, like you said, there's this point about the character having this fictional background, this dissociative background.
Yeah.
And so it's either going to be the illustrator or it's going to be the writer because they're both involved in this comic and they're the ones we see consistently throughout the movie. And the movie tries to throw the boat guy at you as a late fake out.
Yeah, Maximo.
And Massimo, and it could have been him, and it would have been.
But he's just
okay.
He's just a light pervert.
The problem is he comes in too late to be a viable candidate. If he'd been there the whole time,
Plus, it makes
or popping in and out.
Yeah, it doesn't make enough sense for it to be him.
Well, you could make it make sense. I agree, it would have been weak, but you could have made it make sense. Which is that he was fixated on her, and so he was trying to basically, get her to be on the boat with him. So you could have done it. You could have written it. It would have been like, oh, okay. It would have been, you had to squint a little bit to make it make sense, but you could have done it.
It wouldn't have been as good as what occurred.
It would not be anywhere near as satisfying as what it ends up being, which is the illustrator or the writer.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Either one of them would have worked.
But when that girl, because that girl has been the damsel in distress the whole movie. When she fucking turns and and the murder version of her comes out, that actress turns on you so goddamn fast and she becomes scary so quickly that I give her massive amounts of credit.
Yes.
Like, 'cause she did a good job. When she goes crazy, I was like, my God, she's going to kill everybody. Like, she was frightening,
I completely agree. I think she's great when she flips out. But if it had been the writer, it still would have worked. I would have been like, okay, yes.
It would have worked, but you just wouldn't have had, it wouldn't have been as impressive Crazy Time.
Oh, no. What they did was the correct decision in all aspects because she's so good at flipping into a maniac. So that's great. I'm completely agreeing with you. What I'm saying, though, is if it had been the writer, I would have been no less satisfied because for all I know, he could have done that too. I don't know. And then the fake out would have been that she was always,
but the difference, the reason I'm going to argue this is the reason I don't think it would have been good is he was, through the whole movie, he was very proactive. He was like really, he would always yell at her, like, you got to get it together. Stop freaking out. It's more fascinating to see her go from the damsel to the murderer than somebody who is the proactive hero to the murderer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not making the argument that I would have preferred that. I'm saying it would have been, from a narrative perspective, it would have worked equally as well. But because she does that massive turn and does seem to be able to flip the I'm normal, I'm nuts thing on and off so easily, that makes it better that they went that way. Whereas if she had not been a good actress, it would not have worked.
Oh, no. It only works because she's got the chops to do it.
Because she's very good at flipping out that way. It's great. So there's not really much more to say about that. It's in that respect. The interesting part is, okay, which of these two is it? Because I do think that there is, again, this is my point about these movies when they work, there is enough there that either person being the killer would have worked for me.
And then when the thing is, the writer comes out and basically says that he figured out that she was the killer and that he was trying to cover for her. Yes. So he's also kind of incriminated as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I was very. I liked this movie more than I expected to.
As did I. I was very surprised. Yeah. I was actually very surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I was kind of sad we didn't watch the third movie because I enjoyed all of these movies from this set, or the two that we watched of it.
We're going to watch the third one. We just haven't watched it yet
because they were all very different and but very competent. Like, we were kind of doing this like sleazy month, and the thing is, there is a sudden and very strange sex sequence in this movie.
Oh boy, is there.
But the movie itself is not sleazy. Like, it's not like there's all kinds of strange sleaze throughout. If anything, the movie is very sort of buttoned up through most of it, and it isn't until you're getting close to the end and the illustrator, the writer, starts to come apart really, and they have this like intense sex sequence between the two of them,
very intense,
and you're sitting there going, one of you is the killer.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? One of you
and
is
also,
the killer.
if you don't slow down, your sheets are going to burst into flame from the friction. Stop it.
Yeah, so like there's that, but it isn't distributed throughout the film.
No.
You know, it's just right at the end there. That's not going to
Right.
last like quarter of the movie.
Yeah, it's at the very, very end.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody in this is good. Everybody in this, I found it to be a fun movie to watch. And I do like it when you don't immediately know. I mean, they did a good job of throwing like red herrings at you. And yeah, it was a very competent movie. Like, I expected this to be far worse than it was, and it was a very good kind of psychological murder mystery with some, intense sex thrown in.
Yeah, okay. And so this is an element where you would not have the same level of knowledge as I do on this, but I also expected this to be worse than it was because of the director, whose name is not Henrik Montgomery, as the movie will tell you, in a blatant lie, but in fact is a director whose real name is Bruno Mattei. And Bruno Mattei is not a name, for people who know him, that is synonymous with well-made movies. I've reviewed multiple films of his before, and many of them are delightfully stupid. Like, say, Zombie 3, or I'm pretty sure he did the really bad... Did he do the bad RoboCop ripoff? I want to say he did.
Oh,
he's done a
Shocking
lot
Dark?
of... Well, no, he did do Shocking Dark, but I'm not talking about that when I'm talking... Oh, yes, yeah, well, Shocking Dark is the Terminator's Aliens ripoff. Sorry, I was talking about the RoboCop ripoff, which is... Let's see, what is it? Oh, Strike Commando is the one that me and Len talked about, which is the Rambo ripoff with Red Brown, a unique actor if there's ever been one, in terms of his ability to not act. Did he do... God, he's done so many movies. And many of them are not good. But he's not known for this level of competence. I'll put it like that. So, and in fact, in the description on Vinegar Syndrome, here's the line that matters. Quote, an unusually sincere effort from the prolific genre workhorse Bruno Mattei. End quote. That's a very specific line to describe a director with. An unusually sincere effort. That should tell you something. So he made a Jaws ripoff too, which we probably will watch at some point.
I mean, and that's the thing is, like, when I watched it, I haven't seen these other movies. So when I watched this, I thought, no, this is actually a pretty good, like, murder mystery movie.
And I didn't think it was going to be awful, but I thought it might be funny. So I wasn't sure what we were going to get. And I agree, from my knowledge of this person and what he typically makes that I've seen, this is a cut above. And I say that very straightforward and as a recommendation. This is likely the best Bruno Mattei movie, meaning best as in quality. I think Shocking Dark has its delightful moments, and we will get to that, because if you know Aliens or Terminator, you get so much more out of that film. But this, as a straight movie,
it's funny,
is very good.
That movie, Shocking Dark, you... when you reviewed it, you told me that line, we're going to make this guy our girlfriend or something like that.
Yeah.
And that line has stayed with me. You watched that movie years ago, and that line has always stayed with me. And whenever I think of, like, like Italian insults, I'm always like, yeah, we're going to make this guy a girlfriend. Like, it's just, it always comes to me.
Oh, there are many, many, many great lines. One of my favorites, which I think I did play, was, if I would have known WAPs were coming along, I would have brought my anti-grease spray.
Oh, my God.
Magnificent. From an Italian director. We will watch it. We'll get to it. But again, that's the same director as this.
Yeah, you expect it to be you expect it to be bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, he did. He directed Robo War, which is the Robo Predator ripoff, where he makes the Predator into a Universal Soldier. and also has Red Brown. This is the level of movie I'm used to this director pumping out.
Yeah, so what
And
happened?
I mean, pumping
where
out
did he go wrong with this one?
No, I wonder if this is one where he decided he wanted to. Remember, we've talked about like David Lynch doing The Straight Story to show he could do a conventional film.
Or he's like, hey guys, I don't have to be weird all the time.
Yeah, maybe this was him going, you know what? I can make a movie if I want to. I just prefer to sit back, fall asleep, and cash a check. But if I want to, I can make it. Here it is. Whatever the case, it's a good movie. I was legitimately surprised.
Like I said, I liked it. I didn't know who the killer was till the end. I knew we narrowed it down. Honestly, I was leaning towards the creator, just because of the multiple personality line. That was the only thing that really had me thinking it was her. But even still, I mean, it could have been the writer. It could have been Maximo right at the end there. Like, so yeah, I mean, I like a movie that's written. Yeah, I like a movie that's written well enough that I don't know who it's going to be. He was reserved in his sleaziness. He kind of hit you all with it at once.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought it was fun.
It was a surprisingly, from my aspect, if you're familiar with Bruno Mattei and you may have avoided this because it seemed too conventional, you should watch it because it's good.
It's his best movie.
Yeah. I have not seen every movie he's made, but thus far, in terms of a movie I would recommend to anybody, not just people who want to have fun with a movie that's a trash imitation of another movie.
Yeah.
A trash bin thing, if you will. This is a movie I would recommend to anybody who likes a murder mystery, and you'll probably have a good time with it. And pretend Henrik Montgomery directed it, I guess.
Yeah, and it's got its weird in there as well. I mean, the costume is weird, and he's killing these babysitters, and that ties in too. Where I do like that the narrative makes sense. He does circle back and explain to you like what made her crazy, why are they killing babysitters, like all this shit. Like, yeah.
Well, and from what I've read, this movie was written in a week.
Wow.
The writer said he was given a week to write it, but that he was told, do whatever you want. And have a good time with it. And he did. Because the writer is a guy named Lorenzo De Luca. And here it is. The script was written in 1 week, and Mattei, quote, left me plenty of room to do what I want as long as the movie did not cost too much and there were not too many characters. I had lots of fun, although being a low-budget film, I was paid very little, end quote.
Wow, no, good for him. I mean, he did that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So, good. It's I don't know if this one is easily found, though. No, I think this one is only in the box set right now, but I would imagine eventually it'll come to Tubi and everything else, so most of them do. But it is if you get a chance to see it, I would say watch it. It is actually a fun, entertaining entry. And also, this is 1994. What I didn't realize about this box set is it's all 90s movies, which is well past the apex of Giallo movies in general. Their real power time was like mid-80s. And that thing was already running out of steam towards the end of the 80s. So the fact that there's still this movie, the next one, and I'm going to assume the third one when we watch it is going to be of a similar quality, but the fact that these movies are being made and are this good still when the trend is over is also, I think, impressive.
It's the tail end of it.
It is, but you know what? It shows that there was still some life left in it for the people who wanted to make good ones. So yeah, Madness or Eyes Without a Face, but look, Madness 1994. Look that up, you'll find it. Worth seeing. So if you get a chance, you should watch it. We followed that up with now what are the two titles for this? Because it technically has three titles. But the title you'll actually most commonly find it under, which is not the English translation of the Italian words, it's found under The Final Scoop. It's also incorrectly shown with a release date of 2019. It is not from 2019. It's from 1993, I think. I don't know why it's incorrectly listed like this, but it is. Because, yeah, it was made in, that was the German release date is 2019, which I don't even think that's true. So I don't know why it's like that. But if you look up The Final Scoop, you'll find it. Or Bugie Rossi, which is Red Lies, which is the correct translation. which would be Bugie space ROSSE. That's how you'll find it. But it's listed everywhere as the final scoop. And it was not made in 2019. So I don't know where they're coming up with that from. This ended up being a movie that both of us were over-engineering the explanation for.
This is
Again,
a very strange movie to me. Because it's not...
Yeah, I'm going to let you explain this one.
Oh, man, dude, I don't even know how to explain this fucking movie. How do I explain this movie? God, what is how do I explain this? The explanation of this movie will not make sense because it is the details of this movie that really make it so fascinating. The general explanation of this movie is that it's about a reporter who's investigating essentially like gay subculture, but also sex subculture, right? In I don't even know what city they're in, but basically I guess in Italy, right? And in the process of investigating it, he goes to a lot of kind of gay dogging sites. He encounters people who are murdered, right? And rather than and is close enough to it that like he is kind of, you know, a suspect, right? Because one of the guys he's doing this really weird thing where he wants to kind of get a sense of the kinds of men who go to these kind of gay dogging sites, and so he's posing as a gay man himself, which is very strange and awkward for him. Like he's awkward about it. And then when he kind of like pulls away from the last minute, which annoys a lot of people, and one of those people is killed. And so it's very strange because he's there and he's kind of is it a coincidence? What then goes on is he keeps thinking that there's some sort of bigger thing going on, and he continues his investigation, and he keeps thinking that the murders have to do with his investigation, and they do, but not in the way that any of us, including the main character, thought. And I like this movie, but it's got a weird, there's a weird twist ending in the middle there where like somebody's mom shows up, and like I really don't understand that part of the movie. But as Joe was saying, the whole movie comes down to the fact that the main character's friend, who's like a district attorney type, was being blackmailed for being gay at this point in Italy. And he was being blackmailed by a guy who was basically kind of luring men in for services and then like filming them, right? And so the DA friend is killing the people who could basically blackmail him to kind of make it so they can't, right? And it actually has nothing to do with the main character. The main character was just investigating it, and it was just a coincidence that he was getting in the middle of it. And the whole movie, the DA friend is telling him, don't investigate this. Just drop it. Just leave it. You know? And it's because, this whole thing was kind of running parallel to him. So it's weird in that respect, because you realize that everything the main guy was doing was like kind of barking up the wrong tree. Like he was investigating, and he was discovering the things that had been used against his friend, but he didn't realize his friend was gay, and he didn't realize that it had occurred. That's like the most normal part of the movie. What makes this movie weird is that he's in this very strange marriage with this beautiful woman. And as he's investigating kind of this, it's not just gay, because it's like gay, swinger, just like sex subcultures. He encounters I'm going to say a bisexual prostitute, because he goes both ways. And he kind of starts to get a thing for him, There's a very strange sequence where he lets the prostitute sleep at his house, but he's just like, you can sleep here because you've got nowhere to go. And then the prostitute like goes down on him, and he fakes being asleep, but he's awake, but he lets him. And then as the movie goes on, he starts like thinking about him and like having feelings for him. And it's like this whole kind of side thing going on, which I gotta say, for me, is fascinating because a lot of these Italian movies, there's such a machismo in these movies that like you don't necessarily ever see an Italian movie that explores homosexuality and sexuality with the kind of the fluidity that this movie does. And his wife knows that something's going on, and she's kind of getting more jealous, which that makes for some very awkward sex sequences where like they're intense, but like they're intense but tense, you know. And it culminates with the wife finding the male prostitute that he's having these feelings for, and like basically having sex with him, which is a thread in this movie that never resolves itself, does it? Because the after the murder is resolved and the prostitute character is killed, which I honestly can't remember. Why does he die? He gets shot. But he got shot because he was the lure, right? He was the guy that lured.
Yes, he was the one that was being used to lure people in.
Yeah, so he lured the DA character into this other guy's place so that he could then be filmed being gay, and that was what was being held against him. So the prostitute is killed, and it all comes to light, and the whole thing gets kind of solved. And then at the end of the movie, it like ends with this sequence where he's like in a park, and he goes and he sees his wife, and she's cut her hair, and she sees him and smiles, and the movie ends, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, their whole marriage drama was never resolved. Was it, you know, and it's like, was the resolve that I fucked this guy, or this guy gave me a blowjob, so then you had to find him and you had to get head from him, and now we're even and everything's okay. And he's dead, so our marriage is secure. Like, it's almost Shakespearean in the sense that, like, in Shakespeare, you can break all the rules you want between point A and point B, but when the play gets to point B, everything has to be restored. So everybody who's fucked around either has to die or go back to whatever they're doing. All the girls that have dressed up as men have to go back to being girls. And this movie kind of has the same thing, where it's like, this guy can fuck around all he wants with the idea of being gay with this kind of like pretty male prostitute, but at the end of the movie, he's back with his wife, and the male prostitute's been gunned down. But the fact that it's this big murder mystery in this like late 80s, early 90s Italian sex subculture is just so weird and different for these types of movies. You don't normally see this. What do you got to add for that?
Yeah, a couple things. One, I agree with you that it is a strangely, no, I shouldn't say strangely, it is a refreshingly, better word, progressive film in that it does not make any of this subculture what I'm sure at the time would have been described as deviant sexual practices. It's never portrayed that way. Nobody ever says, "Oh, you're gay. Oh, I guess you're a ferryman," or like the stuff that we've seen other movies do.
Yeah. It's never
None
like
of
that.
it.
It's so strange for this era
Yeah.
to see this kind of, you know. And they go to these clubs, and there's like everything's fine. People are swinging both ways.
Yeah, honestly, the only person who's ever put down is the reporter because he's so reluctant in many cases. If, for example, there's a young couple and the woman says, "Hey, you want to get down?"
He pisses everybody off because he's not really there to have sex. So everyone's like, "Hey, man, you want to come back to the room with us?" And he's like,
Right.
"No, I'm just not in the mood." And they're like, "Oh, go fuck yourself." Like, he's...
Yeah, the one girl says, when he says, "Oh, no, I'm not sure," she's like, "Oh, so traditional and boring." Like, that's the insult is of the straight guy. It's none of it is directed towards anyone who isn't a heterosexual male, really. Everybody else is just existing in this world. They understand what's going on. They're dipping in and out of whatever things they want. You see it all the time.
I love
and it does,
the number of old couples that try to
Yes,
get
there's
him
a
too.
shocking number of
Old
mature
Italian
swingers
couples
in
that
this film.
sit there where like the woman puts her hand on his lap and he's like, he kind of like scoots it off, and then the man puts his hand on the
And
other
then the
lap
old man
and he's
does.
like,
Yeah.
and he's like, no, I'm good, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, the main guy ends up being so awkward about it all. I mean, like, honestly, I feel like he should have been younger because, like, the awkwardness almost feels very young. You know?
Yeah. Yes. But no, I would say that if you are their marriage is weird because they seem to almost be sniping at each other.
Oh, in the beginning, they have this kind of, like, spiteful
marriage. Which I think is supposed to come off as spiteful banter, but it doesn't feel that way.
No, because he's like, "Oh, I hate you," and he's like, "Well, I hate you too." Ah, ha 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 ha. Like,
but in fairness, no matter what your age, if you have existed most of your life, like if I was to walk into one of these clubs, right? Yeah, would I be as awkward as this? I probably would.
This did happen to you. You had a girlfriend who was in the musical theater department. I remember you went to one of her parties and you were like, "Oh my god!" It was like, this is a whole other kind of world.
Yeah, although I was far less of. I mean, nobody was putting their hand on my leg.
Yeah, you're not.
But I was sitting there going, "Wow, look at all this."
Yeah, loud and proud. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was great. I credit experiences like that to making me not be a scumbag because I saw a lot of different people doing a lot of different shit.
And that's what's so fascinating is it's a Giallo movie, but it really flies in the face of a lot of what I feel like is the machismo that a lot of these movies have, right?
Yes.
But it does do it in this safe way where, like, by the end of the movie, everything is restored. His marriage is restored. I mean, like, you're kind of.
The movie has a narrative safe word. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah. But I mean, and the thing is, the whole movie. I mean, the red herring is that you think there's a lot more going on than it is, and in the end, it's the friend that you honestly I did not think it was because the friend was gay and he was being blackmailed. It makes total sense, and it blindsided me.
But there's the interesting, and it's almost, I wonder how clever this is or if it was accidental. And I don't know. I have no way of knowing this. I do think there's some extras for this movie, but I have not watched them yet. I just got this set right before we watched it. So is that part of the reason why the movie treats everything so neutrally is to make you stop suspecting the basic thing that at the time would have been seen as, oh, that's something to remark on. By making everything so sexually neutral, except for the reporter, who is a fish in deep water that he has no recognition of. Outside of that, no one's treating anything as different in any way. And so you almost come to go, okay, there are no limits here. You can go out to a park and there's a bunch of guys walking around and you pick who you want. There's a guy jerking off in the bushes all the time. Sure.
Oh,
no problem.
The smiler who's like crazy.
The jerking smiler. He's great.
That guy's crazy.
I love him. He's fantastic. But everything else, when he goes into the club and there's the dominatrix woman, and like when he's skittish, she's like, "What? You're gonna get squeamish now? Come on, that's what you came here for." Like everybody's treating him like the weirdo.
Yeah, because he's messing with these kind of like big league kind of sexual crowds, and yet he's so like, "Well, I'm not really sure I want to take my pants off."
So you sort of can forget that at the time. That yes, if somebody was exposed as he's a politician, he's a district attorney or whatever, but he's a high-level public figure. Today, nobody cares. I mean, of course, some people do because some people have, again, their heads up their asses. But now, a high-profile figure being gay is nothing. At least it's not nothing to people who aren't nuts. It's just a thing. Nobody cares. But in the early '90s, and I don't know what Italy's specific politics are towards it, but certainly in a lot of places, being an out high-profile figure itself might be something that could get you thrown out of office. But definitely, if you're seen as being into, again, I'll use the word deviant because that's what they would have said at the time.
The guy in the thing was sure that it would destroy his career.
Yes. So because the movie treats everything as, so what? You sort of start to buy into that, but that was not what was actually going on at the time. So when you get to the end, you and I were like constructing all these big elaborate, okay, so wait, was it this because, I'm like, oh, it's the wife because she found out, so she's murdering all the people.
The wife is the big red herring because she doesn't go on a business trip at one point and she starts like trying to follow him, which is what she figures out about the gay prostitute. And you're watching it and you're like, oh my God, is she going to be the killer? Is she killing people that she thinks he's fucking? Like, because that makes sense. That idea makes total sense until a certain point.
Well, the problem with the mother red herring is that it's too clumsily done, because there's some little breadcrumbs where, you find out that the wife has gone to her mother, and she's saying, "Oh, I think we're in trouble here."
That's not her.
Oh, sorry,
mother.
She goes to the guy's mother.
Yeah,
the friend's mother. And the mother seems to be like, this sucks. It seems like, he's harming you. And so you could have done that where that woman was being protective. But the way they do it makes her seem like she's absolutely the killer, and then she's just not. They just throw it away.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably kind of fumbled.
One of the weak parts in the movie for me is that
it is the weakest part by far. They should not have done that at all.
Yeah.
Because it's not handled well enough to justify its inclusion, except as a cheap red herring, which is what it is. But that's it. That's my only real criticism. The rest of it, I think, is very well done, because the reasoning is very simple. This, I said in my short review, I think, this could have been a Law and Order episode. Yeah. Easily. Because it's a very simple story, really.
What was his name oh God, it's not Ice Cube. Ice-T?
Oh, Ice-T. Ice-T.
Ice-T, like, doing his weird over-explanation of, like, the plot is. He's like, so he was a man that liked to be with men, but didn't want other men to know. Yeah. And they filmed
that would be the big thing is we found these photographs in the apartment of him, and apparently he liked to be with other men, and he was being filmed. And when he thought it was going to come out, he decided he had to stop them from being able to tell anybody. So he was silencing them one by one. But that's it. There's nothing unconventional really about this movie, except for the way that it very neutrally presents a lot of variation in sexual preference, which for 1990, what did I say the year was on this thing? 3? Was unusual. Because we've seen other movies where, Shocking Dark, I'm going to make him my boyfriend. That's not exactly a culturally sensitive remark.
The lack of, like, just homophobic hostility is amazing.
The lack of any judgment of anything that is not seen as strictly traditional sexual practice, period.
Yeah.
None of this stuff is seen as anything other than, okay, yeah, that's the type of club it is. No problem. Except for the guy who's going to be blackmailed. But even the porn theater, where everybody's in there, it's a straight porn
in
film.
There, everything's fine, no one's being weird.
Everybody's just floating around looking for whoever's into their thing, and there's nothing about it. It just is. So that's the part that's unconventional. The narrative is, again, Law and Order material. I guarantee you there is at least one Law and Order episode that is this exact plot without all of the actual framing and nudity and everything else. But otherwise, I guarantee this is a Law and Order episode at some point over that show's history. Somebody was about to be blackmailed for being gay and killed a bunch of people to cover it up. Period. Yeah. That's the whole movie. But it's the movie's depiction that is unconventional, interesting, and different. So again, now, and I said this to you because you said, I don't know if I'd watch this again. I am going to watch this again because now I know what it is, and I'm more curious how it works with the knowledge.
Not because it was bad. I think it's just, for me, it loses a lot of its... It's the shock value gets lost a bit for me, because I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. It makes sense, and also I know, and you know what to look for, and I'm kind of like, that's a good thing and that's a bad thing, because I think, like, I'll be curious if and when you see it, how it feels different to you.
I have a hunch it will be a better movie for me because I'm not going to be trying to figure out the threads.
Yeah.
And I'll just look at it as, okay, this is just a crime thriller. Period.
Yeah.
Without any
set
of the
set against the backdrop of like sexual subcultures in Italy.
Yeah, and interestingly, I've seen a lot of comparisons with this movie to Cruising, the Al Pacino movie.
Yeah. Which
a lot of people criticize because it does portray gay subculture negatively in many instances. And so to me, I'm thinking, well, that's not here. There really is none of that. If you found Cruising to be a movie that was looking down on it, watch this. Because this is sexually neutral, but it does depict the reality of, while within this world, nobody thinks that there's anything wrong here, which is correct, the world outside does not share that outlook. And so this is something that, in a similar way to where I talked about with Nothing Underneath, where I don't condone the character's actions, but I understand them. Same thing here. This guy, for just having to have interest in a type of sexual expression that the general public can't understand, he now can't have a life. And this broke him. Yeah, I get that. To have to, because he says at one point, I've had to live in secrecy for my whole life.
Yeah.
There's a line like that when he's explaining it. I'm like, yeah, that would drive you to this after a while. To have to not live as yourself for your entire life. Yeah, I think you'd go crazy after a while. Or you could. So I sympathized with the character. Again, I don't think you should go murder people. I think there's other ways to deal with it. But
yeah.
I know where it's coming from. It's not an irrational out of nowhere, oh, I'm your brother and I love you, let's fuck, or what, or I just want to stare at you and no one else can have you. Delirium type of thing where you're like, hold on, when did this happen? This at least makes sense. So, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was I think it's a great backdrop. It's not one that you normally see in these movies. So, you know, yeah, I thought it was good. I was again surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So then we were going to watch the final film in the box set, but as I said, I erroneously pulled the wrong audio track, which was just the director's commentary. And so we're going to watch that again. We will watch that, but it won't be for next week. It's going to be it'll be one of the last two movies. I already have the last two. I have everything set up.
It was fate that we didn't see that movie and that we ended up.
Oh boy. Yeah. So what we did watch, I've had this movie on hand for a while and I knew at some point we were going to watch it. I didn't know quite where it was going to fit in, but fortunately an opening presented itself and we watched the 1998 version of Phantom of the Opera, directed by Dario Argento. Now, a little background on this. The Phantom story is apparently, I should say, because Dario Argento's dead, was to Dario Argento the same level of kind of adoration as Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein. Phantom was Argento's thing. He loved the story. He wanted to make a version, and he got to. Unfortunately, and there is some debate over this, but based on the movie we saw,
I will say this, just to give you like an early review. There's supposedly the original cut was an extra hour.
Something like 40 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, if we found that version, I would watch it because I'm that curious to see what they took away from this movie.
Yeah,
because. There's some fascinating shit in this thing. Yes.
So, I am not that big a fan of the Phantom story. I've seen one version of it, which was I think it was a New York City play. I went with my mother. I remember going years ago. Watched it. Didn't care for the music all that much. Didn't care about the story all that much. Thought the actual theatrical mechanics of how they did a play were interesting. I was more interested in looking at how they did sets and stuff. But I've never connected with the Phantom. It's just not for me. I don't care. Other people like it. That's great. I know a lot of people love the soundtrack. It has a memorable little theme. But it was never a story that connected with me. So I don't remember that play. I know the Phantom's a guy with a mask, lives in an opera house, I think dies. That was as much as I could have told you. You put a gun to my head, that's as much as I'm coming up with. And I probably could have hummed the theme. Da, 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 da. Like, I could have done that. That's it. Whereas Lando, on the other hand...
I grew up... I mean, I watched the was it the made for young... there was like almost like a Turner Classic, but there was an animated version of the book that they made that I watched when I was younger. That looked like the classic monster with the and that's the thing is I haven't read the story in a very long time, but I've seen the play the musical multiple times. I do like the music. It's stuck in my head from when I'm a kid. I have seen multiple versions of it, animated and whatnot. So I know the Phantom pretty well. That said, I'm not like a Phantom diehard. I just enjoyed it when I saw it, and I know the story beats. So when we were watching
and that's the story beats is the important part, because I don't. So I knew he wasn't raised by rats. I knew that much, and I knew he wasn't psychic.
Oh my God.
But outside of that...
When the rat thing, I was like, what?
Yes. So, and I actually said that in my 5-minute spoiler-free review, because I'm like, this isn't even a spoiler. This is the first 10 minutes. You get all of this. So this version of the Phantom, there's a few slight changes to the origin story and general character. The first being that he's an abandoned child who drifts underneath the opera house.
Yeah, they never explain where the Phantom comes from. In this version, he's an abandoned child who drifts into the sewers underneath the opera house and is apparently
there's a piece of text that comes up that says a mysterious alliance is formed.
Yeah, in the darkness.
And that's how they explain it, that the rats raise him. So he lives with the rats in a rat kingdom, pretty much, where at points you see him late in the film, he takes off almost all of his clothes and they just kind of run around on him and he's luxuriating in their ratness.
He's opening his pants, like there was something weirdly like...
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Luckily we didn't get to see, so I'm not sure. But, so, abandoned in a sewer or whatever, raised by rats in a cave system underneath the opera house, and has psychic ability. Also, beautiful. Gorgeous Julian Sands in peak physical condition.
And this is the weird problem with this movie, for me. Now, let me rephrase that. Because I actually really like this, and like I said, I'm not a diehard Phantom fan, but it is funny because essentially one of the things the Phantom is known for is that he is disfigured. And he has to hide his disfigurement, right? So this Phantom does not have a physical disfigurement. In fact, he is fucking good looking and fit. He has long blonde hair. He isn't dressed disgustingly. He's dressed nice. I mean, honestly, Julian Sands looks like Lestat, the vampire. Like, he's good looking. He's like dramatic, and I mean, so it's weird because it's like one of the things that primarily made the character, which is that he couldn't be around people because he was disfigured and he felt he had to hide it. He's not disfigured. He's fucking good looking. Ladies dig him. So that right there is kind of a weird Italian twist on this, where it's like, okay, that's different, you know?
Yes. So right off the bat, we have a Phantom who is not very scary, except that he lives in caves. Paired with this, we have... Now, the rest of the story is more or less similar to the mechanics of the traditional Phantom story.
No. You can definitely see the beats. You can see the connections with... But he does change things. What's that?
Generally the same, but these little things that are changed are the things that make it work, which is we have, you said, the main antagonist of this is the Exterminator.
Yeah, which is
and there is a point.
Yeah, that's the thing is that there, if you know the play, you know the story, you can clearly see when he's channeling the source materials, or when he's going, Dario Argento wholeheartedly. And the rat catcher sequences in this movie are like weird Disney sequences where there's like happy music and he's like da 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 da, I'm killing rats in the underground, yeah, like the music is like dainty, and then someone gets decapitated. It's
yeah. So that's the thing about it. So the story generally unfolds as the Phantom story does, more or less. But it's these little decisions that are made in terms of the tone of certain scenes. Like you said, the Ratmobile, which is, we said, weird. This looks Terry Gilliam type of thing. This is a completely different type of scene. it does not fit in with anything. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's bad that it doesn't, but it feels like the movie shifts into Warner Brothers cartoon or something. Briefly. And then there is so essentially what gets set up is, I think it's supposed to say Asia Argento, his daughter is, what's the character's name?
Yeah,
what's her name?
So she's Christine Daae. So yeah, Asia Argento plays Christine Daae. And so up front,
who is from the play? So what's that? That
yeah,
character's there.
Yeah, all the characters are there. Man,
and the rivalry with Carlotta is from the play, you said. So that's the same.
And so Carlotta is there. I mean, no, the story is all there. So Carlotta is the main singer. Christine Daae is a young up and coming. Asia Argento. I'm not a fan of Asia Argento. Every time I see her, and I hate to be so insulting, but like she makes me. She has a strong Eastern European hooker vibe to me, so I'm never really a fan. Her lip syncing in this, because she didn't sing opera, is weird. Like when she's trying to like act like she's singing, I'm like, man, you're like that detective from that other movie who couldn't quite get his mouth around.
All right, I have to disagree with you here. I don't think it's weird. I think it's fucking awful.
There you go.
It's not weird. It's terrible. There is no point where anyone with eyes that work will for a second believe that this woman is singing.
And
That's
then,
all. Go on.
And then on top of that, there are some long, intense, graphic sex sequences in this movie. And as a father, it's a little weird to me because it's her dad directing her in sexy scenes with Julian Sands. Like, very sexy, doggy style, totally nude rat fuck scenes in his rat tower underworld. Like, and I don't know, like, maybe that's just me being a really prude American, but like, it feels a little weird. And every time she'd be like naked and there'd be like some kind of long glamorous shot of her nudity laying there with Julian Sands, I'd be like, man, this is your dad behind the camera here. I was like, that's kind of weird, don't you think? Maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know if that struck you, but I felt weird. It felt weird.
Well, I was about to say, as a non-father, I felt it was very, very strange.
Yeah, and apparently
and I'm not a father, and I went, yeah.
And apparently he's done that a lot, you said?
Yeah. It's not the first time.
Yeah, it's like a weird... It's a weird vibe. So, and then, if we're going character... First off, Julian Sands is a sexy Italian Phantom of the Opera, right? You know what? I should hate that, but I don't. I think he's a sexy as hell Phantom. I was totally on board. He had psychic powers. He was brooding. His long hair. I mean, Jesus, it's enough to make you question your sexuality. I mean, the man was intense, right? It's not the Phantom, but it is. It's fine. It works great. I like Julian Sands, right? But I'll tell you what not ruined. This whole movie is kind of a lot of strange decisions. But the guy that they chose to play Raoul, who's supposed to be the man that Christine Daae is actually in love with, because in the original story, what it is that Christine Daae is in love with the Phantom's musical genius. He trains her to be a better singer, and she is in love with that. But she also thinks that he is through the beginning of the story, she thinks that he's some kind of disembodied spirit, right? She doesn't know that he's a person. And she is, Raoul is a old friend from her youth. They meet again early on in the story, and then they kind of get involved, right? Because, she's young, up and coming, and he's a gentleman in the city, and they kind of get together. And when the Phantom basically tries to take Christine Daae early on in the story, and then she gets to come back, she kind of leans on Raoul in the hopes that she won't get taken again. And the thing is that from that point in Phantom of the Opera, Christine does not want to go back. Once Christine figures out that the Phantom is a real person and not a spirit who has been helping her to learn music better, she does not want to have anything to do with him. She does not want to go back down to his underworld. She does not love him. She is not interested. And in fact, the penultimate moment of the musical is when he kidnaps her after killing one of the actors on the stage. Raoul tracks them down to his lair, and he basically puts a noose around Raoul's neck and says, "Choose me or I'll kill him." And then she chooses the Phantom to save Raoul, at which point the Phantom is supposed to have this kind of like moment where he realizes, oh my god, she really loves him. She'll even choose me. And she actually kisses his like diseased face, right? To kind of like show that like the kind of her pity and her heartbreak for him, the fact that this is where he's at. And so the Phantom realizes that it's not going to work. None of it's going to work. It's over. And so he sends her away with Raoul. And, you know, when the mob finally catches up with him, they never find the Phantom. You know, he doesn't really die. Like, because when they get there and he kind of sits down and pulls this like cape over himself, and when they get into his lair and they pull the cape away, he's not there. There's just a mask. So the Phantom doesn't die. He just leaves. That's always the sense I got, that he was just heartbroken and it didn't work out, and he was like, "Fuck this," and he just used his skills and tricks to knowing. I mean, he's got plenty of tricks to just get away. So it's a very different version of the story. Whereas in this version, like Christine, I mean, how could she not, goes wholeheartedly horny for the Julian Sands Phantom. I mean, she's all in on this shit. But the guy who's supposed to counterbalance this, Raoul, is such a awkward actor in such a misconceived outfit. Like, he does not balance out to Julian Sands in any way, shape, or form, which is a real weird sticking point to the movie. And it's part of the larger sticking point of the movie, which is that Christine at first is totally in on the Phantom. She's in love with him. There's some hot and heavy sex in the underworld. Then suddenly she's not. She gets angry with him, she hates him, and she immediately goes to Raoul and she's like, "Raoul, I love you. Save me from the Phantom." And then when the Phantom brings her back down to his underworld, suddenly she's like, "No, you know what? I do love you. I'm so in love with you." And then Raoul, the Phantom basically has Raoul take her away because he knows that if the guards find her down there with him, they will kill her. So Raoul drags Christine away, screaming and crying how much she loves the Phantom. Christine comes down like she's like, you know, fucking bipolar in this. And that's like that's why I would love to see the 3 hour, if there's the long version of this movie if it ever existed, because I want to know what the scenes are that make this psychotic back and forth make sense. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. That's the greatest evidence that there is footage that was cut. Is otherwise this just seems so sudden and weird, because literally what we're talking about happens in the span of maybe 10 minutes of the movie, if even that, where she goes on the roof, has this where at the beginning of the movie, when you see, well, we're just going to call her the daughter with her like, I don't know, attendant. The attendant's like, "Why are you even interested in such a petty man?" She's like, "I'm not. We're just friends." And then when the older brother's like, "I think you're into,"
she absolutely belittles Raoul. Yeah, she's like, "I don't like him, whatever."
And then the older brother of Raoul, before the weird hallucinatory sex bath scene, which, is like, "Oh, I think you're into it." He's like, "No, we're just friends. You know, I mean."
Yeah, but then he starts hallucinating that one of the whores in this place is Christine, and he's like, "Oh, Christine.
Yeah.
Oh my god." And then when he realizes she's not, he like beats the prostitute away.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Raoul, man, what's going on here?" Raoul is not likable at all either.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because it's bizarre.
You do kind of like, you know, you kind of side with the Phantom. You're like, "You know what? Go ahead, man."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Phantom, I mean, you know, he gets a little possessive late in the movie.
And he is nuts. I mean, at one point he scares Carlotta not to sing by basically threatening to cut her boobs off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he does.
Yes. Oh, he absolutely does. He scratches one of them.
Yeah, and that was not on my on my like little bingo thing of things that were going to happen in this in the Phantom of the Opera. For him to like yank out one of Carlotta's boobs and be like, "I'm going to cut these off if you sing." Like,
yep. It was a unique choice among many in the movie.
And that's the thing. Despite all this shit we're saying, I really enjoyed watching this movie. It was so goddamn weird.
No, this is the only version of the Phantom I've genuinely enjoyed. I loved it. The only criticism, and it's the same one you have, is that thing with her swing between Raoul and the Phantom is just so
sudden.
clumsy.
Yeah.
And it has to suggest something was cut.
Yeah, and the movie literally ends on her snot crying on the boat as Raoul is like pulling her away. And the Phantom is getting like shot and stabbed by the guards. You know, like they show that Argento chose to end on her like, you know, ugly crying how much she loved the Phantom. But you're like, yeah, but a minute ago she was like, "Fuck that guy, Raoul, save me, fuck the Phantom," you know,
right.
and she's genuinely afraid of him. When the Phantom has his weird Batman moment where he flies down with his cape to the stage and like takes her away, but then once he gets her, she's like, "I am into you. I do love you." And it's like, I was theorizing that it was a psychic power thing, that like when he was around her, his psychic powers would just overwhelm her. That's all I got.
It's the movie makes it difficult to know. I'll say that, and that's where. Again, you know, because the Phantom, outside of some little stuff where he was raised by rats in a sewer. So, yes, he's a little crazy.
Yeah, he hates people. He does hate people.
Yeah, he doesn't like people.
But you know what? But he's not... Here's the thing. There's weird shit that they show you. So, like, these two treasure hunters try to steal from him because they think he's got a treasure. And he does kill them horribly, right? But then a young ballerina almost gets raped by one of the older managers. And he fucking kills that guy and sends the little girl up. Right, so you're kind of looking at it going, okay, well, he has a no children policy, right? He doesn't like thieves, right? You know, he kills pedophiles. I'm fine with that, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And
he does seem to genuinely care about the daughter, whatever. Argento, because
Argento. Yeah, he does like Christine Daae. Yeah, he does love Christine Daae.
Yes.
And
Carlotta is shown to be a monstrous diva. She's not a good person either.
He doesn't kill Carlotta. I mean, he drops a fucking statue on her head, but he doesn't kill her.
Right.
And in the end, when he realizes that Christine is going to die if she stays with him, he actively thrusts her to Raoul and says, "Get her out of here." So that he is not a bad character. There is that kind of bittersweet anti-hero to him.
Right. Yeah.
And Julian Sands is a good-looking guy. So
he is. And ladies, you'll get to see a lot of them. So a little something for everybody.
He is the warlock. Yeah.
He is indeed the warlock and does eat a tongue. So.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is I guess
he does.
Argento really wanted there to be kind of more gore in here. And, like, the gore is at times almost like, it's almost kind of goofy. We're like, oh, what is he going to do this time? It's like, oh, he's going to bite your tongue out. Ooh. Or he's going to bite your ear. Or, like,
Or he's going to scratch your tits really badly.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I feel like he should have, you know, it would have been fascinating if there was just something more rat-like about him. Like, if he was always stooped. Or if he had, like, just long fingernails or something.
Yeah.
But, like, he didn't. He was just like, I'm the Phantom of the Opera, and I'm fucking beautiful. And I stand upright, and I walk, and my cape billows around me. And you're like, yeah, how would Christine Daae not want to fuck you over Raoul? Raoul is like an awkward teenager in his dad's suit. And you're like this man, like, just manning around the fucking opera house telling everyone where to put it. With your psychic powers and your oh God, like it's such an Italian movie.
It is, and it feels a lot like somebody who was like the Phantom story and identified with the Phantom and wanted to make him into the heroic figure while not completely distorting the story.
It's like Dario Argento read the Phantom of the Opera and was like, "This is too French. I need to make this way more Italian." What does an Italian version of this story look like? Well, for one, he's not deformed. He's fucking beautiful.
Nope.
Yeah. He's a beautiful
Yep,
man.
he got raised by rats, and they gave him psychic powers.
And the
All
rats,
right.
yeah, exactly. The rats give him psychic powers, yeah.
And the scariest thing anybody could say about him is he wears a leather cape. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, got
yeah.
it. Yep, a handmade leather cape from
And
probably
listen,
some
you know
small
what?
Italian
The
village
movie,
somewhere.
And here's the thing: the movie is filmed well. It looks good. And
Yeah, only some of the CG is pretty awful, but that's the time period. Can't do anything about it.
But he was quick with it too. Like he uses it suddenly, but he
Yeah.
doesn't. But then he switches back
smartly.
to practical really quickly to try and make up for it. I would watch I would watch the full version of this if we could find it, if it existed. I know there's a director's cut out there, but I checked it to see what the difference in length was. They added like 45 seconds of gore. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. But the studio did take this away from him and did recut it to make it more palatable for audiences. But yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's not a good movie, but it is a fucking fun one. And a lot of bold decisions were made.
Yeah, the only other criticism I really have for it is Ennio Morricone does the score, and it's completely nothing.
Yeah, it's forgettable.
It is so disposable, except for the very end theme, which I liked a lot, but it's the very end credits theme. Otherwise, you would never in a million years
it's not impressive.
know that he did it.
Yeah.
So,
and he kind of phoned this one in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
and
and
luckily,
listen.
by the way, if you're interested, everybody, just a quick aside, if you go to the Vinegar Syndrome site, they have screenshots of the movie, and one is a prominent one of a bare-ass Julian Sands. So you can go enjoy that for yourself as a preview.
Yeah, and listen, he's in great shape in this movie. I mean, this is prime Julian Sands.
It is.
But Asia Argento does not do it for me. I don't know why her dad keeps putting her in the movies.
Well, and I'll be honest. If you're into her, this is not the movie she's been the most nude in. I know that.
Oh no.
And it's not even the one Dario Argento's done that she's been the most nude in. So you can go watch other stuff for that.
That's
but
weird too. I mean, it's just
it's bizarre. It's at least 3 movies I can think of, and Trauma is probably the good one. She's really young in that one.
I don't know how you can do that, like psychologically speaking.
Maybe
you're like,
maybe it's I said this in the commentary. Maybe it's a
no, but it's like
European
put your
thing.
hand on her boob. Okay, now look sexy. Look like you guys are really fucking. You know, like I don't.
Yeah.
Like, is it? Well, that's the level of professionalism allows you to. You know, like is that what it is, or is it just
Maybe.
because you're objectifying your daughter?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not gross. It is gross to me too, but hey, what do I know? Maybe it is a prude thing, and everywhere else is like, whatever, man. Nudity is just another state of being. Okay, fine. Like you, she doesn't do anything special for me.
No, she doesn't.
I was more impressed with Julian Sands than I was with her. So that should tell you something.
No, he is a good-looking guy in this movie. Honestly, you know
He's
what?
in top form.
I thought Carlotta was more fun. I didn't expect we were going to get nudity from her.
No, we get, and then the bathhouse scene, you get a little bit of everything.
She's a big old cartoon character.
Yeah, you're gonna get 2 poets literally trying to drown each other in a sex bath.
Yeah, they're having a poet fight in the whorehouse.
Yep, it's great.
I mean, that's the thing.
So that's what I mean.
There's so much
this is a lunacy version.
Yeah, there's so much random shit in this movie. Like that, you'll just keep maybe like, oh yeah, and this, and that, and that. Like, there's just so many weird, specific decisions for like, like the maid who like smokes a pipe and like really, we're not talking enough about how awkward Raoul is, but he does look like Cumberbatch's like awkward younger brother. Like he's just so out of place in this movie.
It's very strange.
Yeah, so
it's very strange.
But despite
and the idea that she could ever pick him over the Phantom, look at these 2 men next to each other. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's despite all these kind of weird negative things, you watch this movie and you're like, God, this is so much. It's so weird. It's so fun. Like all this, that
is the thing. It's one of those times where the Italian absurdity really does make it into something interesting and entertaining. And it really is, because especially if you know the Phantom. Although I enjoyed the hell of it, and I don't know that much. I didn't have the story memorized.
No, I
but
think
I would imagine
a lot of the beats are there. They are, but he just goes off in this incredibly insane Italian.
Well, and that's the thing is, I wonder how it works for other people who are more fans of the Phantom story to watch this and be like, wow, this is a hell of a way to go. But I think but the fact that it worked for both of us, you knowing the story, me not remembering much of anything outside of the pop culture infusion points.
It's not the Phantom. It's an Italian fever dream of the Phantom.
There you go.
Yeah.
But hey, that's good.
So
again, and this, like the whole thing with the 90s Giallo films, at this point, most people have written Dario Argento off saying he's so far past his prime, he just can't make a good movie anymore. And this movie would certainly show that he could.
There were so many weird decisions in this that I want to see another hour of this movie to try to make sense of I wonder if her mood swings back and forth make sense when you get more of the movie.
I wonder too. Yep.
So there you go.
Well, if that version ever gets out there somewhere, or I find it, or anybody knows of it, by all means, tell me. I would be interested to see it. It may exist. I think I said, maybe like Cyborg Slinger version where it's got
this
VHS
isn't that
elements.
vault with the full version of Wolfen that we're never going to get.
Yeah, probably. But you never know. We say that, but you know what? Things happen.
You know what? I'm gonna add this to my dream list of movies I'll never get to see. Here you go, Wolfen, the full version of Wolfen, and now the full version of Argento's Phantom of the Opera.
Well, if it ever comes out,
along with Fincher's
original
cut that doesn't even exist of Alien 3.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure we're definitely never getting. But if it ever happens, we'll come back to it. So on that note, everybody, there's nothing we would say don't watch this week. Watch any of these things, if any of them sound good. The biggest problem you'll have is watching the Vinegar Syndrome ones, because I think they're only in the box set. But I $4 for Saturnalia, and Phantom of the Opera, I believe, is on YouTube, so you could watch that one. Because that existed before Vinegar Syndrome put it out. It may not be quite as 4K pristine, but I know there is a couple copies on YouTube. The other ones, just wait. They'll come out eventually. On that note, everybody, whatever you do with your weekend, have a good time, and we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.